we'll be starting in a bit. I'm just gonna toss up some music in the meantime. Talk to you guys soon. Happy Thanksgiving, all my American friends. Okay, titles should be updated. Sorry about that. What's up? I gotta make some coffee. It's really early in the morning for me. Spooky Thanksgiving stories? Hell yeah. You guys like lore. I just wanted to let that play out. You know, I feel like it deserves it. Let me make sure I don't have any doxing information on my computer. There we go. Gone. Socialism Done Left. If you're watching in our DMs, I mean to do next week, not this week. So don't be like rushing to try and do something today on Thanksgiving. That'd be crazy. Because I saw you in Discord, but I don't know if you saw me in Discord. So just to make sure we're on the same page, that will not be happening soon. Nothing like a nice light roast gravy.
What the fuck? Sam, what is that?
Oh, thanks for the sub. Wow. Thanks. Wow. For the sub. What kind of name is that? How do you remember how many A's? You know what? I think I remember your name. I think you might be a patron, because I remember some of the names being funky that I had to put in the credits for this week. And oh no, what is this? Marvel Infinity War is the most ambitious crossover event in history. And then you have the Devil, some fucking Latin American dictator, I'm sure, an old man, and Biden. Okay. I don't know who these other two people are. I guess I don't know evil people well enough. I think he zooted the chat. I don't know what the fuck that means, to be honest. Okay. I'm really trying hard to make sure my DMs do not get leaked. So give me 2 seconds. Okay, there we go. I'm in streamer mode, but it is very tempting to click on the red dots when they pop up. Actually, I should probably go on Do Not Disturb so they don't get the dots. Okay, I'm ready to go. Zooted equals hi. Oh, no, not today. No. I have to do Thanksgiving and stuff. I wouldn't. All right, let's do full screen of memes. Oh, wait, no, let's do just chatting. Duh. This is a just chatting stream. I don't want the this thing though anymore. See, we don't need the schedule. How is everybody doing? Hello. Hello, hi. How is everybody? Wide Peepo, chill streams, yes. See if we need a light here. Hello, focus. I'm over here. Mushy mushy. Moshi Moshi. Hello? Hi. Hello. Hi. How is everybody? Good. I made some bomb food. Come have a plate. Wide People blanket. All right, let me take a swig of this. What's going on here? You know what? I'm gonna be honest. The only thing that I don't like in terms of Thanksgiving food is gravy.
What is that?
So I see some light gravage going on here. I see a little bit of stuffing, which I'm also not the biggest fan of. But everything else looks pretty lit here. Those potatoes look all right. That bread looks fluffy, although I don't know why there's so little of it. You got hot sauce, which is good. You still got a pumpkin, I think, on your table, though. You might want to look into getting rid of that soon. That's going to get gnarly. I like this jam. I like that you just dead ass like the Pilgrims. You got a bit of jam on the side. I like that. You don't like stuffing? What? No, I don't. It's just kind of gross to me. It's very like, you know, I don't like that shit. I don't like that shit. I don't like it to feel like it's already been done, you know? I feel like it's already been chewed and shit. Kind of gross. Kind of gross, dude. I'm not a fucking bird. I don't need someone to pre-chew my food for me. Kind of gnarly. It's real cranberry sauce. Nice. Nice. I like that. It really brings the whole thing together. That chicken looks real good. Even if it has gravy on it, that chicken looks good too. Hi, happy Thanksgiving. Hello. For everybody who is not a part of the Freedom Land, you don't, maybe you don't know, maybe you haven't heard, today's a very important day for my people. It's to celebrate some of the few times that we were able to get along with the Indians before we massacred them and took their land. So, you know, always that casual reminder, You know, around this time when you're little in America, you celebrate what are called the Pilgrims. It's these men with big top hats with a buckle in the front, and you talk about how it was rough for them when they came to America. Shit wasn't prepared. God had laid out the land in such a way to kill white people. It wasn't meant for them to live on. It was all fucked. It was swampy. It got cold when it was cold. Too cold, as a matter of fact. Got hot when it was hot. Too hot, as a matter of fact. They couldn't handle anything. On top of that, they didn't know how to grow food. These dumb fucks were planting rose bushes and shit and wondering why they couldn't eat. So the Indians came along and they were like, hello, see you struggling.
What is that?
Too cold.
Too cold. Yeah. And so the Indians come along and they were like, hey, hello. I don't want to do an Indian voice, bro. I'm going to get in trouble. But, yeah, anywho, the Indians came around. They were like, you have to plant food. Otherwise, you will not have food in the winter. and they helped us figure out how to plant a bunch of food, what kind of shit grows where. And then we would have these wonderful, bountiful meals that we would have with the Indians. And we'd be like, thank God. Hey, remember when we pulled up and you motherfuckers were killing us?
Breathtaking.
Remember that?
I shall call him
You introduced us to agriculture. Introduced you to guns. That felt really loud. Thanks for that, though. I appreciate that. Just gifted tier 1 subscriptions. Holy shit. When you guys are saying Scam Train, does that mean it's actually going? Because when I'm on Bree stream, it doesn't tell me.
I shall call him
Wow.
Mini-Me.
Wait. Subscriptions with Darth Bane, what have you done? What have you done this Thanksgiving? I don't have an activity feed. I can't see. Level 3 Hype Train right now. Wow. Hey, for those of you on the YouTube, you can go to Twitch and have amazing Scam Train things. Holy
I shall
shit.
call him
That's a lot of subs. Wait, how many subs did you do? I can't see. Oh my god. Oh my god. All right, I'm going to go to my Twitch manager real quick and see. Level 3. Holy shit. We're going all the way.
breathtaking. I
Oh
shall
my
call
goodness,
him
more.
Mini-Me.
Oh my god. Damn, you did 5. 5. Holy shit. Wait, I think there may have been 5 before that. I think there may have been some before that. I have no idea. Oh my god. Yeah, 5. Fuck.
I shall
That's a
call
lot.
him
Mini-Me. He doesn't know, chat. This man is made of money. I guess. I have no idea. Wow. That's a lot. That is a lot. Thanks, everybody, for those. Including the followers. You know, that's free, but hey, you know, you're going to get some notifications now. I appreciate that. You'll know what I'm like. Oh, furthermore, a little bit of update to the news. If you didn't know, on the Discord,
I shall call him
there is now a Give Me.
Mini-Me.
Give Me. Mafuggin. I'm surprised Mafuggin doesn't have a sub. Mafuggin is crazy. I see you on Twitter, bruh. I see you on Twitter all the time. I love some of you and how, like, my main relation to you is not necessarily in the
You have
chat,
to form
but it's
these
like
opinions
Twitter.
yourself. You can't cut to the chase. Drawing
Thanks for
your
the
own
sub.
conclusions is the chase.
Wow, look at that. What? Whoa, that train is almost at the level 4. Holy shit. 87%. What do we have to do to get it to 100? How much is left? How do we know? It just randomly gives us percents. Monk ass.
breathtaking. I shall
Oh
call
my goodness.
him
Level 5 actually. Yeah, we're nearly there. Holy crap. You gifted a sub to my fucking ass goblin. Oh shit. Wow, we're at 95. Holy crap.
What the fuck?
Look at those 200 bits from Vape Nash. I feel like a proper just chatting streamer. I feel like a no, hold on. I cannot make these connections, dude. I'll be in trouble. I feel like a Chatterbait streamer, dude. I'm just over here like, "Oh my god, thank you. Oh my god, can we get like 100 more
breathtaking.
tokens?"
I shall call him
Oh my gosh.
Mini-Me.
We did the hype trade. Holy shit. You guys are fucking crazy. Level 5. I don't know what that means, but we're there. Look at Darth Bane with all of these fucking shears. Holy crap. And push this over the edge. Fuck it, dude.
Of course, fucking of course.
Oh my goodness. I
wasn't
told you we're
asking, I
going
was
all the
telling.
way. Yikes. Yikes. Sounds like something that's whispered in your ear before a painful experience. I told you we're going all the way. Yes, please, Craig Chasm. Jesus Christ. This is nuts. Thanks, guys. Holy crap. Oh my god, you guys are still doing the bits and shit. I feel like my attention is definitely 110% on this.
What is this?
Holy crap. And thank you to Elusive and let me go through these. Let's see. Elusive, Vape Nation 311, Darth Bane, of course, Derry Cohey, fuck, we have so many people. Vape Nation again with the bits. Vape Nation's just tossing out bits.
What is this?
Elusive VX, XV. I like that that's XV instead of like XX or something. I feel like normally those like things at the end with like underscores are typically like XX. I don't think I've ever seen XV. I really like that though. I think the closest thing I've seen to that is like MX Vivian Wolf. A 3X Booksmarts combo. Jesus Christ. There's a lot of stuff going on. I like the miso emote now. What do you guys think of it? I need to fill up emo spaces. I saw it and I was like, yoink, that's mine now.
Oh, everyone likes their own brand, don't they? This is magic.
Cleaned it up, put in some
Alright,
invisibility,
analysis.
and it's mine. I might actually. That's from an anime called Golden
My
Kamuy.
version of
I
being
may
polite
watch
is
more
to
of
at all
Golden
costs
Kamuy just for
avoid
that.
rudeness. And it feels
'Cause
like
I
I
really
have
like
a
the
much better
faces.
chance of making that work by shutting up than by speaking.
I feel like it's a good weird face, bruh. When you're just not digging what's going on, you could just put the miso face. I love it, dude. So the story from the show and why this face is being made is one of the Japanese people like meets with the Indian people. Actually, it's a wonderful story for Thanksgiving. So the Japanese people are meeting with the Indian people, and the Japanese people have a box of miso, and miso is like flavoring that you put into shit, and it makes it taste all Japanesey. Okay, but Indian people, I guess, were not down for the miso, and so she thinks it looks like poop. And so part of the running joke for the show was that every time he would bring out the box of miso, she would say that it's like poop, and he's putting poop in the food. But she secretly really, really likes the taste of miso. And so sometimes when he pulls out the poop, she'll make that face, and that's why that's where that comes from. Oh my god!
What the fuck? Sam,
I like that, dude. This
What
is
is
kind of a jam. I don't know how you got it to talk like that. You know how to serenade my French woman who's saying all my stuff for me. Be careful. Don't do a racism. I'm not trying to. You literally just put emotes. It made noise. It sounded like we had cat jam in the chat, bro. I'm just dancing.
Sam, what is this?
You guys think accents are racist because you think white people are superior. I think that's what the problem is. I think that's what the problem with accents and you guys is, if I'm being honest. Low key. Thanks for the hype train. Holy shit, 136%. I guess it doesn't go any higher. Holy crap.
My version of being polite is
That's
to at
kinda
all
crazy.
costs avoid rudeness. And it feels like
my
I have
goodness.
a much better chance of making that work by
lot
shutting
going
up
on.
than by speaking.
Indian as a Native American or Indian as from India? Well, if I'm talking about people that visited and lived in Japan natively, I'm probably not talking about
You have
Indians
to form
that
these opinions
randomly
yourself. You can't
They
cut to the
randomly
chase.
took a boat to
Drawing your own
northern
conclusions is
Japan
the
and just were
chase.
chilling out. I mean, Indians is in native peoples. The native peoples in this particular show are called Ainu. That's what they're called. They're called the Ainu people. Booksmart's going after the gypsies again. We don't use
You
that
have to
here
form
anymore.
these
That
opinions
is
yourself.
banned.
You can't
That's
cut
racist.
to the chase.
We don't say that.
Drawing your own conclusions is the chase.
Have a good Thanksgiving, y'all. Thanks, Darth Bane. Thanks. I'm sure everybody appreciates their subs and stuff. That's cool of you. And thanks for the bits, everybody. Oh my god. Hype train success again. What does that mean? Another one?
My
Another
version
one.
of being polite is to at all costs
Another
avoid
one.
rudeness. And it feels like I have a
Such
much
strong
better chance
support.
of making that
Level
work
5
by
complete.
shutting up than by speaking.
Wow. Thanks. Thanks, everybody. Let's see. Well, you're also talking about Thanksgiving. I am talking about Thanksgiving. Book smarts. Miso is fermented soybeans. Soy!
Let's have a smell, all right?
All right, bro. You're
Ooh,
done fuck.
wafting, wafting.
I didn't hear the
Oh, everyone
context.
likes their own
Interesting.
brand,
Can we
don't they?
say
This is
Pepega,
magic.
or did we ban that as well?
All right, analysis.
Look, you can see my belly. Let me just stretch real tight.
Das Krufe
I would prefer you not use Pepega. You're walking a very fine line. A line which, if you cross the wrong side of it, I will ban you. I think you can use it as long as it's to denote somebody being stupid or a stupid opinion or a stupid point of view. I don't think, though, that you want to be using that in place of the R slur. And if you get too close to that, you're gonna meme too close to the sun, and I will ban you. And I will tell you that it is because you're misusing Pepega. Like, I think you can use try hard whenever the fuck you want. I don't think the try hard emote is bad, but if you have a habit of only using that when like black people come on the screen or like when racist shit happens, then you're being yikers with it. Same with like a bunch of other emotes. Like it really depends on how you use them. If you're using them at like cringe times, then you're pretty bad. Like somebody who I used to like to watch just to see like them get cringed out in public was like Asian Andy. But I think Asian Andy's chat, if you watch it in any of his videos, is really racist and bad because of how they use their emotes and stuff. I would say that you guys like just realize that you're walking a line, okay? And don't be monk ass with it, okay? That's all I gotta say on that. Oh no, P word. What P word? Can we say Pepega or did we? Oh, no. Okay, that's the P word. Can we use the word you're a dumb fuck? You can say you're a dumb fuck. That's fine. Just make sure you use the fish emote so everybody knows you're joking. Asian Andy feels weird, man. Yeah. Please don't be racist towards Roma. That appropriated European culture. Yeah, maybe. Maybe even the Europeans are like, you haven't earned that racist term. You don't have a hatred for the Roma people the way we do. You're not using it right. Like, that could very well be the case, dude. They could be gatekeeping racism from me. I don't know. It's a lot of oohs in chat. A lot of oohs. Oh, wow, that's a lot of oohs. Okay. We have to get into this. The Scrub King emotes are kind of cool too. I kind of like those. All right. We have a lot of topics to cover. Can I be quite honest? We have a lot of topics to cover. I'm gonna share the screen and show you guys a little bit of that. So, monitor. Okay. All right. Here's the show notes for today. We have a lot of stuff. I have to do my opening shill, so I'll do that for sure. And then we could talk about viewer emails. We could talk about the election results, which is kind of old. We could talk about video editing in the new office. We can talk about this kind of psychological concept, I mean, of wanting or seeking versus liking. That these are two different functions in the brain. I don't have any notes here, but I could explain this off the top of my head. Discord suggestions, Crow intelligence, justice, and generational memory, which is like part of the title of the show. Are you guys sleeping or are you guys doing Pog stuff? I can't tell. It's too tiny. American cultural gripes, Ragusia hating. Oh man, there's so many little things. Pepega, is it a slur? We have a lot of topics in here, so Booksmart's burps, yeah. Booksmart's, can I say ye, or is this a Pepe only stream? You know what? Pepe lost the war, okay? If we as lefties are gonna make fun of if we're going to make fun of the conservatives for not admitting defeat, not losing properly, I think we need to realize that the Pepe people need to lose properly. Boo! Wrong. Let me tell you. All right. Just like our boy Trump may have won the election, Pepe was robbed of its place. No. You guys have to give it up. You guys have to submit. No more of that. No more insurgencies. You guys have to just accept that ye won. Now, Does that mean Yi won, or does that mean the powers and the corporate structures behind Yi won? I think just like the Trump supporters, you have to think you lost, but why did you lose? How did you lose, right? And keep that little hope alive in you. Why did you lose? It wasn't because people were cheating, but it may be that, you know, some people were duped, you know, that may be the case. So, you know, keep your ear to the ground. Could be that people were tricked. Could be it. Damisareta, right? Is that the Japanese for it? Damisareta, whatever. You got deceived. The no plan man, Dan. Yeah, I think I roasted him for that briefly in the call that I jumped into, and he said something along the lines of like, "Don't start a battle you can't even win, kid." Or he said some bullshit like that. I completely forget. Was anybody there for that? Does anybody remember what I said? I completely forgot. That night's a blur. Some says Yi had dead players. Yeah, they may have. And Hark Dan may have killed them. And then the Yi people are Satanists, bro. They brought him back from the dead, and then they whooped Pepe's ass. We got our ass whooped by a zombie. Like, how does that even, you know? It may have been better that he was just alive. We maybe shouldn't have even killed him, because then he got Frankenstein strength and he whooped our ass. So, you know, things didn't work out as planned. I think Dan was just gonna, a lot like the neoliberals, he was just gonna grease the wheels of government with some money, and he was gonna make some shit happen for us. Dan can't even bribe properly. Yeah, right? What's up with that? I'll tell you what else Dan can't do properly. Dan can't fucking vote properly. I may not have shit, but I figured out how to vote because I'm not fucking stupid.
Here we go. Money talk.
Shit.
Turkey don't taste as good as that book Smart Spooty. Thanks for the stream.
Wow. Yeah, I don't even think you guys see my butt much. If I'm being quite honest, I think I keep it out of frame for the most part. I keep that bad boy under control. The best thing I have heard coming into a stream, that zombie kicked our ass. Dan's a dumb fuck. A little bit, huh? Time to evict the landlord. Yeah, true. It's time for the glorious revolution. Let's get the landlords out, bro. Let's get them out. Let's get them out. Let's paint all the houses. I always thought it would be funny to, instead of leading a revolt where everybody doesn't pay their rent or some bullshit like that, that everybody just starts fucking up the rentals. That everybody all at once just starts fucking up the rentals. Just paint some weird fucking colors, fucks up the walls, changes shit, fucks with the pipes before they leave. Just do way more damage than your deposit. And I think that actually does way more worse stuff for the landlord than it does to just stop paying. Like, I've always thought Gandhi was a cool fuck, and Martin Luther King was too. And it's partially because they found these cool ways of protesting that just piss people the fuck off without being like on its face like an awful, terrible thing that everybody could disagree with. Whereas like rioting is very clearly something everybody will disagree with. I think telling tenants who are getting fucked by their landlords that aren't fixing shit to just destroy everything and make it unusable for the next person might be like might be a more impactful thing for leftists to do. Seems like a good way to fuck over a small claims court, and that means more judge shows. I mean, it could, and if judges do more shit, then it starts to show that the system is not meant to defend renters and stuff, right? That secretly the system will jump in and it'll improve all of a sudden if the people that are threatened are the people that own all the land, but not so much. You can't really bring your landlord to court every single time over not fixing shit. So it's like, you know, I wonder if that shows who they care about more. I don't know. Isn't this comparable to rioting? I think it is, but I think it's way different. First stream seeing the new space. Looking good, man. Thanks. I appreciate that. Yeah, we're working on it. I took down the green screen. No more green screen on this wall. You know what ended up happening? Here, let me... So you see down there, there's a bit of Velcro that's still stuck to the wall. Well, what happened was my
You have to form
dumbass
these opinions yourself.
stuck
You can't
Velcro
cut
to the
to
green
chase.
screen thinking it would
Drawing your own
stick and stick
conclusions
to the
is the
wall,
chase.
and it didn't. Whoops. There we go. Yeah, and so it ended up happening that it didn't really stick very well, and especially towards the top, it was like peeling off. Maybe we're just looking at a green screen of your room and not the real thing. How can we know? Oh, you can't even see my hand. Here, I'll touch the other side. There you go. My next door neighbors are probably like fucking monk ass. They're like the weirdo guy that screams at himself all day is tapping the wall. You know, one thing that I did yesterday was I posted a I kind of want that to look at me. One of the things that I did yesterday was I posted a video up onto the YouTube. In that video, a lot of the time that I'm doing voices and stuff, or I'm doing the characters, I'm actually not, I'm not, sorry, I needed to turn the light up. I'm not actually like saying anything. Maybe I'll post the behind the scenes on the Patreon, but I'm like whispering because I don't want them to think I'm crazy. So when I'm like making these like little monster noises like because I don't want them to think I'm crazy, bro. How do we know you aren't just CGI too? That much you don't know. You don't know. I could very well be CGI. I could be a HoloLive. The ass-kicking zombie is trying to get out. True. Yeah, the ass-kicking zombie in my brain. Interactive green screen. Take my Prime Gaming, Mr. Smarts. Thanks, dude. Thanks, dude. Eat Katsu. Booksmart's Darth Bane made the world burn with channel points. Yikes. Maybe, okay. You'll just fuck over the next tenant because they'll probably have to pay even more months in deposit. That doesn't make any fucking sense at all. And then if that landlord starts charging like fucking 3 months rent for deposit and everywhere else is only charging 2, you're not going to pick the place that needs 3 months of rent. Although, if they fix up the whole place and they fix everything in the house, that solves the problem for the next tenant. You don't have to fix anything. Everything would be fixed. And so if you had to pay 3 months deposit, but you never had to call them out to fix the shit in your apartment, I wonder if that's actually something that's worthwhile. I don't think that's a negative thing. Okay. Isn't this comparable? Okay. Destroying society to establish a communist utopia. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, bro. I'm trying to adopt some K-Comrade fucking theories or whatever. VTuber Kimiko Wen. Bro, I'm happy that you said that because that's low-key been like bouncing around the back of my brain, is that Kimiko can be on stream with me and that I could like, okay, this is crazy. Okay, this is crazy. This is some behind the scenes info. But I was low-key thinking I could hire like a voice actor, or I could find a voice actor in the community who would just be cool with doing it. And we could actually have them like voice Kimiko and like do a whole little skit. Like, I have a lot of really cool ideas, and I just feel like we're starting to get to the point where like I'm having to worry less and less about money stuff, and I'm able to just put time into like fun projects and see what'll work and be okay with like the time that I put in a project being lost because it doesn't end up going to fruition. That's a lot easier to accept when the stream is doing better. And that's why I'm trying to stream more times a week. I think we can do it. I'm pretty positive. Did you see that Jake and Bake kind of did this? Did he? With water or with somebody else? And for those who don't know, I really, really, really like Jake and Bake. Jake and Bake's one of the streamers like Destiny who, like, if I met him, it would be like a very like celebrity thing because I really enjoy Jake and Bake. He seems really cool. He's kind of boring in his collabs with other people though, but he seems cool enough. Booksmart's own mute. What do you mean? What do you mean? All right, let's grab one of the topics for today. Maybe we should talk about Pepe real quick. All right, let's talk about Pepega. All right, because I want to get this one out of the way. I don't want to talk about it more. Imagine being a streamer and not talking about the OTV drama. Oh, should we do that? That's gonna take the whole fucking stream, dude. All right. I watched both of the Destiny videos on it. I watched him review all of Fed's stuff. Yes, please. Okay. Can we not? Well, here we go. We are. Better today than when it's cold and dry. True. You want to get to that corpse before it starts decomposing. Otherwise, you get a lot less out of it. All right. Drop your hot take. Ooh, do it. Booksmart's re. All right. I need a notepad for this. I want to make sure I do this properly. Because I just want to make sure that we cover everything that we need. Okay, there we go. All done. I think this is everything I want to talk about. I just want to make sure it's all written down so that I don't like lose anything. Destiny projected the fuck out of himself onto Fed and Pokey. You know, I like to hear that because I haven't heard that at all. One thing I didn't do is check the comments, so I'm not tempering my expectations based on what you guys are expecting here. Change your title so you get more viewers. Oh, true. Bro, you must be a fucking streamer. You've got the insight, my dude. Whoops. Let's see. Big show. Crows. Here, let's do Pokey, Fed, Crows, and Gore. We'll keep Gore in there. I think Gore is the very clickable thing. Let's see. I hit update all and it says titles updated successfully, so I'm just gonna take it for granted. Gore, Monka S. Yeah. I don't think we're gonna get to the Gore though, if I'm being quite honest. If we have to cover Fed and Pokey, I just don't think we're getting to the Gore, but gross Gore drama, Pog, gross Gore drama. All right, so in the very first vid that Destiny did reviewing kind of like all of Fed's documents, I think, what's Gore, like mutilation? No, it has to do with Reddit. Should make it Fed and Pokey updates. Updates. New information. The new information is my opinion on it. New information in all caps, dude. You know, if I ever get like a manager for the stream or some shit, I would make them do that all day. I would say, you need to pick the most like immoral clickbait fucking titles you can. And then I'll just say, I didn't pick the title. That's got to be my manager. I don't want you guys to think I'm a clickbaiter, dude. Clickbait the fuck out of people. Okay. You're right. Kind of like Destiny. Yeah, I'm starting to learn from Destiny, dude. I'm starting to learn, you know, our beacon of rationality and whatever. He's actually kind of a drama streamer. He actually kind of just really likes drama, and he stirs shit up all the fucking time. And now that I've seen this cycle happen a few times, I'm kind of monk-ass to it. I don't know. Kinda? Omega lol. Yeah, not kinda. He does it a lot, okay? And as a part of that, he did an entire video and stream about Fed and Pokey's shit with each other. Now, if I had a guess, okay, there was some talk about Fed and Pokey meeting in private to discuss how they would publicly handle all this shit. And I think there were other people there at the meeting. He literally says he loves covering drama. Yeah. Zerka does the best clickbait titles. Okay, I'll have to copy Zerka. So they met in private. they talked about how they would release this information, and Pokey said that Fed didn't follow what they agreed on. Although Fed is also saying Pokey didn't follow that. And Fed was upset with the way that they released information, the light that they painted him in, and that's part of why he decided to release all this stuff. And he waited a while until, he got through all of his shit. Keep in mind that Destiny covered the Me Too stuff. Yeah, I know. Well, even a broken clock is right twice a day. I think, there are some drama topics that actually could be like leveraged in a way to help women and whatever. But that still doesn't change the fact that I think he's just generally attracted to drama. And I don't think him doing the Me Too thing like makes it to where we have to be blind to the fact that he's pulled towards drama like a moth to a flame. Anytime any drama with popular people is just easy viewers. True. That's why I'm doing it. Okay. So Fed and Pokey talked in private about how they would release all this shit. Neither of them were happy with how that was handled. And so Fed decides, almost as if there were some threats of who would release what during this private meeting, almost as if that was the case, Fed releases a document with a bunch of shit on Pokey, implying that he has shit on other people. So, before Destiny starts talking about the incel angle and how Pokey led him on and all this other bullshit, and he like inserted himself like a fucking manga character, a fucking shoujin protagonist or some bullshit. Before he did that, like, you need to realize both of these people are probably manipulative fucks. I think from all the information that was released about Fed, remember how yikers it was, the way he talked to people and the way he warped things behind the scenes and whatever. I really do think that combined with this private conversation of how to release this information and the threats that were kind of bundled up into that, we know for sure that Fed is not the greatest fucking person. And that's before we get into the things that he did with these women, okay? So Fed, we can put him in a box of like probably bad, okay? Probably bad. And I'm doing that because you want to keep that in mind the whole time that we're listening to the story and we're going through it, guys. Threaten? Not even threaten. He made real on the threat, at least to one of those people, at least to Pokey, okay? Is this a rhetorical analysis? No, this is just a general thing because that's how Destiny talked about it, so I feel I'll do that too. Yeah, so just generally, remember, even if we're talking about Pokey leaning on Fed and we feel bad about Fed and, oh man, poor Fed, fucking, he's getting, led by the nose and whatever, just to be clear, Fed says he didn't release the document. I don't fucking care if Fed says he didn't release the document. Why does this document exist? Why was it a part of the discussion in the deliberation about how they were going to release all, it's almost like being, this fucking manifesto with a bunch of screenshots of all these text messages and whatever, like, hey, I didn't release it, all right? Obviously, I made it. Obviously, it's written in my voice. Obviously, I edited it a few times. Obviously, I thought about it. But hey, I didn't hit the fucking send button, all right? But I will say this. That bitch was talking some mad shit about me. That bitch was saying all this shit. We had a private agreement. All right? We had a private agreement, and we said we weren't going to talk about it like that. So, I didn't release it. All right, I didn't release it. But I will say, I should maybe do it in the Bernie voice almost.
I didn't release that, but what I will say is that we had a private agreement. I am once again here to tell you.
I really do think they had a private agreement where they said they weren't going to. Regardless if Fed was the one to release it or not, he obviously penned the whole document, so I don't know how important it is who leaked it. Leakachu? Is that why you guys are calling her Leakachu? Did she leak this? Drama Smarts? As an Italian American, I feel personally attacked. I didn't release it, but I do stand by everything in the document. Yeah, I do stand by everything in the document, and I do think God has an interesting way of working things out, that when you said all this shit about me, it just so happens that this document got released. Like, yeah, someone DM'd it to Peach. Okay. That doesn't sound like an accident to me, but that's fine. You know what's funny? Is it could very well be, like I'm memeing right now, but it could very well be that Fed never intended for the document to go out in public. But you know what Fed did do? Or rather what Fed didn't do, since that's what you're focused so much on. Fed didn't learn from his lesson that talking shit to people in private with all this other stuff. He obviously shared this document to somebody, probably said, hey, what do you think about this? Fucking Pokey's a bitch and I got all this evidence, whatever. He was doing the same thing that got him in trouble in the first place, right? Which is that he says all this shit and he makes a whole compelling case. And then, you know, I think this is part of the problem, isn't it? I think she got it from a burner account and forwarded it to Destiny without reading it. I don't know. I feel like he should get the chance to say his side of the story. I do. And I think he should just be real about it. Just release this shit. And if he was just going to release this shit, don't have the fucking veiled threat at the end about like, hey, and if any of you other motherfuckers wants to talk about how I'm a manipulator, how I fucking, you know, get people to do shit by fucking threatening them, I tell you, I have beef on every motherfucking one of you, all right? And I'm not afraid to I'm not afraid for my friends to accidentally leak this again, all right? Like, you guys can say all that stuff, but wasn't there a whole part at the end where he's like, and I have stuff on every single one of you, all right? Like, I don't know, okay? I'm not super personally invested in this, but I don't think he seems like the greatest character from this, bruh. I don't think we could say that, oh, this is all accidents and fairy tales and fucking rainbows. I don't think so, bruh. But, hey, I'm an uninformed party. I only know the Destiny videos, honestly. Well, it could be that other people wronged him too. Yeah, and if those other people continue to wrong him, his friend is gonna, somebody completely unrelated who he didn't tell or ask to do it or give any signal to will release some documents. Like, I don't know, bro. I don't know. It seems sketchy to me. Well, it is pretty fucked up of Fed to threaten Pokey's reputation with the document, but does that make the things in it false? No, it doesn't. But it does tell you something about the person wielding that, right? And that's why, from the very beginning, I want to establish that this Fed dude, you want to keep in mind that he was a fucker before you read the document, because at the end of the document, the one thing that I didn't like from Destiny's coverage is this idea that, like, Fed was, and I don't think he explicitly says this, but, like, this idea that Fed is kind of in the clear for a bunch of other bullshit associated with this because of this. Like, I don't think we should come out of this more sympathetic to Fed, really. I think we should come out of this more upset at Pokey. And I think this year, we've had a lot of people grow a pair of balls to say something mean about Pokey and actually get traction on it. Like, I think, didn't she get in trouble and finally have to admit that she was DMCAing people that said mean shit about her? Wasn't that a whole big thing earlier this year? And it was something that, if I remember correctly, for a long time she kind of denied that she did this at all, that she always used copyright fairly or it was somebody else or whatever. She was always deflecting on, like, what was going on with that. Was that this year? I think it was, because I was a streamer when it happened, and I remember watching Destiny talk about it, so it had to have been this year. Yeah, I didn't know he was trying to say this kind of cleared Fed's name. I don't think he was trying to say that, but I think because he focused so much on how, like, Pokey's behavior is going to fuck the brain of any man and whatever, I think it gets into Yikers territory. I mean, Destiny still said Fed is shit. Yeah, he did, but I think he also at the same time took an opportunity to shit on Pokey really, really hard. And I think the message may have gotten twisted through all that. I don't know. Holy shit, this year has been so long. It has been. That's pretty much what Destiny said. I don't think so. You guys, one thing that I hate that the Destiny community does is, while I give a lot of weight to how much time you spend talking on different things, you guys don't. So if he mentions like 2 or 3 times throughout the whole thing, you know, it's worth keeping in mind that Fed, he's still creepy and he still does X, Y, and Z. That's cool. But if more often throughout the whole thing, he's talking about how Pokey is fucking Fed and she's fucking with his brain. I can't even imagine this. You're living in the same house as this person. Like, when all of your focus is on there for 90% of it, I don't care that for 1% of it, you said this caveat, really. I don't, because my criticism is on the coverage in general. And that's what I'm trying to, like, point you guys towards. His anger towards Fed sexually assaulting people versus Pokey leading Fed on is pretty telling. He clearly has some personal bias related to being led on. He clearly does, and I think he admitted as much in his thing. But like that's what I'm trying to point you guys at, is when 90% of his time and energy is spent on this and like 1% is here. I don't care that, well, you know, didn't he say that blah, blah, blah? Yeah, he said blah, 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 in much the same way that Trump said that he, you know, denounced racism. Like, he can say it, but if all of his other actions are doing this other thing, I don't really care that he said this one thing. I don't think you need to be giving that a ton of weight when his, like, focus throughout the whole thing was where it was. Fed is absolved, comeback anime character, Pokey is the devil, but I could be wrong. At least you think you could be wrong, you know? One thing I found concerning is that the Destiny coverage, the YouTube video clips, got a lot of blatant incel comments. Well, because he talked all incel-y, I don't know. What should he have done? Said Fred is a predator every second sentence? Lol W. Well, you know, and I'm waiting for responses like that. Booksmarts, what do you expect him to do? Mention every 2 seconds that this guy's bad? Come on, you're not being reasonable. Okay. I'm going to let you just do that. I'm not going to argue with you on that because I think the same thing applies to Trump. What is he supposed to do, Booksmarts? He denounced it. What do you want him to do? Show it with his actions? Show it with how much focus he puts in other places? Give a caveat every single time he's racist? Come on. He's Donald Trump. He's not going to do any of that. Like, okay. Like, all right, that logic works for a lot of different stuff. If you're a logic bro and you love Destiny, I would recommend you apply that to different situations and see how it falls apart, bro. You're smelling like you're 2 questions away from failure, my dude. You're smelling like you're 2 questions away from falling apart. In before an incel army uprising. Yeah, I probably shouldn't get the incels on the other side of me. I should probably have them on my team. So what would be a good ratio of crapping on Pokey to crapping on Fed? I don't think you have to crap on Fed, but I think it's always helpful context to point out that, hey, the whole reason this thing is being released is because these two had a private meeting wherein XYZ happened. And, like, this was part of a threat that was made during that meeting. What we're seeing is, like, the outward part of, like, a threat and decision that was made in private, right? And she stepped over a line, so he made good on his threat. Because if, from his perspective, she made good on her threat by shitting on him with the rest of offline TV. Okay? And, like... The other reason that I mention this is because, and I don't know if you guys have learned this in life yet, but people like this that do this kind of shit in private are very, very difficult people to read from the outside. If somebody like Pokey is making all these kinds of deals and decisions and she's lying about shit retroactively, this was the part of the story that I think Destiny did a really, really good job at focusing on, is on the fact that Pokey took this situation and she went, what's some other shit that I fucked up that I can, you know, throw in here and, like, make it look like all this was because of Fed. And she threw shit in there. Not spitting on a gong. And nobody bought the gong, dude. If you do ! Wish list, you can see the wish list. There's a gong on there. Hello, Booksmarts. Hello. Let's see. To doubt whether or not Fed has changed. Yeah, you can doubt whether or not he changed. I'm saying that, guys. I'm saying that this seems to be evidence to the contrary, doesn't it? This seems to be evidence of the whole problem that we've been having the entire time with the dude. Like, if you were on the fence about Fed being a manipulator and whatever, he was threatening to release all this shit in exchange for this, right? And he still had that at the end of the message. Like, very clearly, we got insight into how Fed works. The difference, the important thing here is that we got insight into how Pokey works. We got more of this ruthless businesswoman who lies and shit and will manipulate stuff to, like, her advantage. And the fact that she chose this situation of all of them to do that with, and the fact that in her response video, she hurries over the shit that would be important, doesn't want to view anything at all from Fed's lens, and, like, did all this. I think it really shows a lot about Pokey. I don't think you guys should trust Pokey. I think Pokey, we have a giant red flag in Pokey that tells us that she's probably fucking crazy. She's probably like a sociopath of sorts. You have to be careful with that shit. Even Fed, I would say that we got some major red flags about Fed from, like, his behind the scenes, like, stuff that he was doing. So sociopath. Yeah, I think when you manipulate social situations like that, if we are to assume that the story that Destiny wove is the true one, that the narrative behind this is that she saw an opportunity with this situation and like took advantage of it, yeah. Because even if she didn't, let's assume that she didn't plan any of this. It just so happened that she said the wrong thing and that she misremembered events and whatever. If she did all that, she's got a bad habit. She's got a little bit of a knack for misremembering things in a way that seems to favor her consistently. And if you're misremembering things in a way that favors you consistently and you're trying to push that, and when it's pointed out to you that that was incorrect and you're put in front of tens of thousands of people and you still continue to choose to pretend as if that's not what you did, you're a scary person to me, okay? There's somebody else I'm thinking of who I won't say, but I'll let the chat answer. Who else could we think of who's somebody who, once they were put under the spotlight, once it was very clear that they did what they were accused of doing, and they had an opportunity to just come clean about it, they chose to continue to fight tooth and nail as if they were 100% right. This happens all the time. When you see people that are like this, what I want you guys to take away from my whole talking about this is you have to put a red flag on those people and keep track of them, because people who squirm when they're under a thumb and when they're finally pushed on like a bad deed, depending on the deed and depending on how badly they squirm, I think that says a lot for the person. Like, let's say this is something I lie about all the time, and that actually in private, being with Supreme changed my mind about this. And it's telling people your ETA when you're coming and going from somewhere. I'm the kind of person who, if you don't specifically ask me how many minutes away am I will not tell you. I will not give you any indication of how close or far I am when I'm driving somewhere. And the reason for this is when I grew up, my parents always kind of instilled in me this idea of like, you know, text so-and-so that we'll be there. We're like 10 minutes away and we're not even in the car and driving. And what I got out of that, of lying about your ETA, was, you know, if we just didn't text them, it would not be nearly as bad. Just wait till they ask you for like a very specific ETA and never give it. And when I say ETA, I mean estimated time of arrival, like how much longer until you're going to arrive somewhere. And so I always thought, this is a bit of information you should just always keep under your belt. Like, there's no reason to share this. People could get pissed off at it. People, for multiple reasons. Either it's too long or it's too short or this or that. Like, you know, I really think that, like, he convinced me that, like, it's better for everybody to just have that information, for everybody to just know. And they'll do with that information what they will, because the fact of the matter doesn't change. And, like, I'm still a little bit of the mind that if the fact of the matter doesn't change, if I'm going to show up somewhere at a certain time regardless, I think it's almost better that person didn't have the information they didn't ask for, so that they don't get focused on it, so they don't stress out thinking I'm going to be late or I'm going to be early or whatever. If I just don't give them the time, it doesn't do anything for them, and then I'll show up when I show up. And if they ask, then I'll tell them. I'm the guy that's 10 minutes early for the bus that will be there 30 minutes early. Yeah. Never give an ETA when you're about to finish as well. Yikes, that's not good. No, you probably should. You won't disappoint them if they don't know. That's what I thought. But now I think it's better. I think it's better to have faith that they're going to be able to handle that the ETA in an adult way and being okay with whatever the outcome is. I am still a little wishy-washy going back to like, well, they don't ask, they don't really need to know. But if they do ask anything, or I'm not like running late, I do think it's fair to just give them an ETA. Your defensive Fed sounds like when weirdos use the but I'm at the mercy of anyone who knows psychology better than me logic in the workplace to prevent getting fired for being a weirdo. You're not a weirdo though, so what do you mean? I don't understand any of what you just said there. But I'm at the mercy of anyone who knows psychology better than... I don't know what the fuck your take... What this take is. Manipulation is the fault of those who are manipulated. Great take. What? What part of this did you get that out of? Lost. Yeah, I'm lost too. Destiny could have done a better job at making clear Fed is a bad person, but he literally did a whole multi-force stream. Yes, so he did. He did. And Oh, I struggle with you guys. This is what I struggle with, is when I'm making this criticism, it's that I don't think that this tonally made it in any of his focus. We could rewatch the entire video, and you'll see that, like, a lot of the tone behind defending Fed against Pokey and in particular going after Pokey's behavior, if it's not tempered by constantly by reminding you who Fed is and what's going on there, and if it's not put into the context of the other things that were going on, I don't know. And you guys can say, yeah, but he mentioned in passing here XYZ and ABC. Like, okay, we're not going to agree on this, and I don't care to argue about it too much. Because you guys are right, he did mention it, and if it's okay for you that he just mentioned it one time and that he did 1 million streams before, then okay. But this is a common problem that he has, and maybe you guys should key into it, where other people don't care that he did a fucking 8-hour stream before on something. They care that he mentions and handles it right when it comes up. They don't care that he can say, I did a fucking 8-hour stream about this, where I said X, Y, and Z. If you really care about my opinion, you'll go there. Like, yeah, but like that's not the problem that I'm talking about. The problem I'm talking about is how your tone is in this one specific instance, and that's important. And if you guys want to reach to like, but he did an 8-hour stream over here, like, okay, I'll give that to you. He did. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that he didn't, or that doesn't matter, or any of this other shit. I'm sitting here telling you my criticism is meant to be kept within the context of this conversation and how he came off there. Not necessarily that there's this other thing. There is this other thing. I agree. But like my criticism is meant to be kept inside of here. True, I guess I'm looking at him from the point of view of a person who's familiar with Destiny's body of work. I always try to pull myself out of that, because I really think that doesn't produce helpful results for me. I found that since joining Twitch, I get a lot more like connection with other people when I look at it outside of that perspective, outside of the perspective of somebody familiar with his body of work, because that's when his problems really become clear. When you don't have the context to understand what he means when he says something shittily, or what he means when he's saying this thing about this person, if you don't have the context, it comes off very differently. And that's why I say that many of his problems are at a rhetorical level. It's making sure that even a novice, even somebody who just joined a stream randomly, will come away with the same conclusion that somebody who watched the 8-hour stream and now is watching this one would. And if you're not tonally consistent across all these things, if somebody missed the 8-hour stream, they miss all the context necessary to interpret what you're saying. And you could say, well, if they don't watch my content, they're not somebody that I'm making content for. Like, yeah, you could say that. But I mean, it's trivial to just tell people to go watch a different video or something. Isn't this literal tone policing? It technically is. Sure, it's tone policing. But you guys asked for my opinion on shit in terms of like tone and rhetoric. There you go. That's something. Like, it's something you can improve. It's something that we can point out what the problem is and you can fix it. So you can do with it what you will. But there it is. Destiny impression on point. I don't think it is, but crying about tone policing is tone policing. True. So now you're tone policing my tone policing. Stop tone policing me. If tone policing is the actual logic that I'm using to look at something too, you're being illogical. You're tone policing my logic, okay? I may be tone policing, but you're the real tone policer, I think. I have no idea what we're even talking about here. I don't either. Other than Fed did horribly months ago, but that doesn't mean that Pokey didn't also, didn't do some straight up manipulative, yes, especially her apologies yesterday where she straight up skipped the reading the incriminating text. They're just cringe. I don't want to read that. That's just cringe. It's unfortunate that it's on the internet. Now it's just cringe. That cringe stuff? I'm not reading the cringe stuff. That's just cringe. Yeah, it's pretty bad. Peter, would you matter? Wait, what is YWM? What does that mean? Oh, does it mean what does that mean? What do you mean? What do you mean? I'm pretty sure Destiny said several times throughout the reading the whole document the Fed was still in the wrong. I don't see what. No, he didn't. Fed is not in the wrong. No. And look, you fucked it up. You're exactly the kind of person that I'm saying comes as a result of him not being clear about this. Fed didn't fuck it up. Fed didn't fuck up these situations with Pokey. That's my point, is that we have to... Look, you don't even fucking understand it, bro. You're who I'm talking about. I'm gonna skip off of this because now we're gonna struggle. True, Destiny always criticizing people like Jordan Peterson for saying things that could be interpreted in a horrible way, but does the same thing, like just move. Yeah. I don't think he cares though. I'm at the point where I don't think he cares about that shit. I think when he thinks it's a meme, it's good enough, bruh. Hey, bro, you're talking like tone policing, you know. You're talking like this part of my main brand, but over here, this is a meme. All right, and you're telling me the meme is part of my whole brand, and it's not. It's a meme. Come on, come on. It's just a meme. Come on. Isn't it reasonable to come up with a meme? He literally did it to Maya. I don't know who Maya is. Is Maya the Mizkif girlfriend lady? That may be a little sexist. I know who Mizkif is. I just don't know who Maya is, really. I'm pretty sure that's his girlfriend, though. Why does the context even matter? If anything, this was the missing context on the previous thing we heard about Fed from Iman. It was, yes. Yeah, it was. And that's what we're trying to criticize Pokey for, is that Pokey manipulated this whole situation like this. But, like, at the same time, remember that Fed is motivated to paint this in as bad a light as he possibly can, meaning he picked the worst text he possibly could to demonstrate this from Pokey, and this is what he came up with. We need to not only look at the bits of evidence and how they were put together, but we need to look at who is putting them together and why are they motivated to do that, right? Fed was motivated to do this as a response to a threat that was made in private. This is his threat, okay? This is a part of maybe other threats that are other documents, okay? And so if there are going to be other documents where Fed is doing this to people, where he's threatening people and releasing private information and whatever, I think it is worthy of considering the validity of some of these things and how maybe his motivation behind posting these and making these people out to look bad may have influenced the way that things were chosen and put in here. Now, the fact that Pokimane did not respond to or point out any bad things with this, I think we can assume at that point that a lot of this was true and on point. But she didn't respond when Destiny covered this stuff. I think Pokimane's response, Iman's response, should have been a huge mediating factor in how we handled the Fed stuff. Because the honest to God truth is that besides the Yvonne text, a lot of this is flirty private stuff that Pokey probably never thought would get out. Now, Pokey being a shitter in relationships is like a side problem, but I really think the Yvonne stuff was the main, like, wait, you totally lied about that. Now, you may say that her saying that she didn't have anything with Fed is lying, but it's not. The way that some women look at relationships are different than the way some other people look at relationships, and even men. For some people, when they're fucking around with somebody or when they're, fondling with somebody who lives in their house or whatever, they may view that as like, it's not really like a boyfriend it's not really like anything relationship. We don't really have anything. It's just occasionally I get lonely and I use this person. Like, those people are never going to think that that person was ever anywhere close to being a boyfriend. And from her perspective, these texts could have easily just been flirting that was done in private. And tonally, if what happened before text, such as him or her mentioning about boyfriends and stuff, if there were repeated things that she mentioned in the past or things that she said in private to make very clear about the boyfriend situation, it puts everything else to bed. I don't care what she said over text. If they low-key had a private conversation where she was like, there is not a chance for you, I'm dating other people, and she gave him a million signals that she was not down for this. That's Fed's bad. Now, granted, people like Pokey are the reason that people like Fed can continue to have that problem and be strung along, but Fed did have a problem in recognizing that this was what this girl was doing. The advice could have just as easily been, Fed, you got to move on, buddy. She's giving you every single signal that she's doing something else. That wasn't really covered in Destiny's thing. That's not really what was focused on. What's focused on is how Iman is stringing him along. And we have that just by what Fed released, but we don't have what Pokemon and Fed said in private. We don't have more text from Pokemon. Now, granted, this is all before Pokemon responds. So then once Pokemon responds and doesn't give anything, then I think we're okay with the Destiny conclusion that she was stringing him along and being manipulative and shitty. And that lines up when you look at the Yvonne situation where she was very clearly manipulative and shitty and lying, okay? But I think the Yvonne situation is different than the Fed situation. And I feel like Fed wants to paint this picture of she manipulated him as well as other people. And the one situation he could go to prove this was when she said this shit about Yvonne and said something that wasn't truthful in person. But the fact that this is like the one thing that he had and doesn't seem to be related to the other thing is problematic. The other part of this, and Pokey keeps saying this, so I don't, and this is like the stream where I'm giving the Pokey side of things, because I just don't think that's what Destiny did. I think it could have very easily been that in private conversations, Fed was much more about like saying that, yeah, Amon might be fucking this and that, or that Yvonne might be this and that. Like, we don't know. His tone in the text did seem like he was defending Yvonne, sure, and that's the only evidence we have to go off of. But that's the evidence that he chose to put forward to make this case for Pokey in defense of himself. So if I had to pick a situation where Pokey was literally a manipulator, 11-dimensional chest, a bit dramatic. You're saying that she did 11-dimensional chest. You're saying that this is a lady who recognized that this situation would be prime and fit for her to manipulate it in this way, but you're not willing to think that that there may be dimensional chests from the person who fell in love with this crazy manipulator lady? You really don't think that it's possible at all that Fed, the person who got in trouble for all this other shit that we learned about, who is being a shitter behind the scenes in all these other ways, you don't think it's possible that he could be playing a game even half as intelligent as what Pokey is playing? You really don't believe that? This is the problem that I have, is everybody's treating Fed like he's a dumb fuck, he doesn't know what he's fucking doing and whatever. Like, guys, he got in trouble for the same manipulative shit. He was a manipulator too. And this is even part of the manipulation. This is my whole problem, is because you guys have that take at the end of the whole Destiny thing. This is what you think. It is entirely possible, but I still do think he's a dumb fuck. He can be a dumb fuck and a manipulator, right? He lost. He played a chess game against Pokey and he lost. So, I mean, both can be true. Yes, both can be true. Wait, aren't you providing a holistic analysis after criticizing Destiny for doing the same? I opened this whole entire thing talking about this. I did something he didn't do. Yes, like, the holistic part is filling the gaps from that. If you guys watch the Destiny thing, now I'm going to talk about this is the gray that I don't think we're seeing, is that Fed can just as easily be a manipulator. Fed had all of these texts probably that he could have saved, that he could have picked, and this is the one situation that he chose to pick. He chose to pick the flirting and the teasing along, and he chose to pick the Amon thing, or the Yvonne thing, okay? Were there any other better instances than the Yvonne thing that he would have had evidence for? I would think that there would be. Why do we only choose the Yvonne thing? Well, because she said that in the video. Okay, are there more things that he's going to release? Would he be tempted to release those if she didn't respond properly or she continues on the Fed thing? Is this again another part of the threatening thing that Fed is doing? Yes, maybe yes. Like, Fed talking shit. Okay. I think I'll move off of this. I think a big problem is that a lot of people see themselves in Fed. Even before this drama, he's an average, boring guy going after the popular girl. Great trope. Yeah, I get that. But, like, Fed knows he fucked up. Now he's trying to save face. And he's good at optics, apparently, because look at the reaction he's getting. Yeah. I mean, yeah, because he's playing to an audience that is out there and definitely exists. I mean, part about being a streamer / entertainer is kind of reading into this stuff. Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to do, right? Like, disagree with this take. I think it's a lot easier to tell someone to just realize what's going on and break off from that person. I have been in that situation with a girl, and so have my friends. It really does take people around you to really make you realize you're being strung along. There's not so many other factors that go into that. By this logic, Cal Concepts, you're going to start blaming all the people in offline TV that didn't tell him, like, hey, maybe you should stop dating Pokey and stop complaining to me about it. Not saying Fed is a dumb person or a good person, but that specific dynamic, but that specific dynamic is a lot more nuanced than just, oh, you should have realized it sooner. And that's not at all what I'm saying. Like, I'm struggling with this. I feel like I should have taken notes because I don't think you guys are understanding me. Like, yes, there is part, what I'm saying is there is part on him Just as much as you're going to put it on Pokey, you have to put it on him too, that he could have realized, he could have seen the writing on the wall. He was telling his friends, I doubt they were all supporting the idea of him going after Pokey, especially after listening to this for months and months and months. They both said they have more things that they've resolved privately, even still. I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. On the being strung along take specifically. Yeah, okay. Wait, let me get my tinfoil hat before we make more conspiracy. I don't feel like this is a conspiracy. You can see it. He threatened to release all this shit. He says he has more. How is this a conspiracy? He says it in the fucking document. Oh man, you guys have brain rot, some of you. Holy shit. Just realize what's going on. You're killing me, dude. I think it's more accurate to think he's playing to the Twitch audience. Yeah, he probably is. But he could do that at the same time as like having a multi-level plan, which he seems to have, which he literally indicates in the document. This isn't a conspiracy. He says this. Oh my God. Oh my God. You guys are killing me. What am I going to do? I would blame the others for not doing anything. Everyone is at blame here to varying degrees. Yeah. But that's the nothing answer, right? That's the one that's not helpful. That's the one people don't want to hear. Wait, Booksmarts, I just arrived. What is your position? My position is that Pokey is awful, and you know what? She led this guy on. Poor Fed. Fed had no chance. Fed reached out to friends who ignored him. Fed was getting strung along for months and months. Fed was undergoing this basic psychological torture. And I'm not saying this directly, but this may have led to some of the things that he did as well. I can't imagine the mental state of somebody living under a house where a woman is treating them this way. I think a lot of incels were made today reading this story about Pokimane and the awful things that she does. I think that she represents women poorly, and I think she's contributing to a culture that just doesn't trust women and is adopting misogynistic behaviors, right? Isn't that what the whole point we got out of Destiny's thing was? Isn't that the whole focus? Is on how this helps the incels and shit? I don't think that's an ideal position. I'm going to be quite honest. I don't think that is a very full and ideal position. I think we are seeing from the outside a war between two manipulative people who had blackmail on each other and who had private threats about this shit. And we're just seeing like part of that battle play out in the real world. And yeah, this part of the battle seems to have an audience. This part of the battle seemed to be planned. This part of the battle seems directed to a very particular audience segment.
Everyone likes their own brand, don't they? This is magic. All right, analysis.
Let's see. At the end of the day, Fed was being creepy. Yes, he were called out for his behavior and paid the consequences. Sure. So he bides his time and posts something that he knows will make Iman's life difficult. No, okay, you missed this part, bruh. Here you missed a fucking crucial step, which is he made a deal with Iman and the others on how they would handle this publicly. And in part of their deal, Iman broke it from his perspective, so he felt the need to do this. That you're missing that part, bruh. This meeting is really important. I wish I could use a war analogy. I wish I could talk about like some of the meetings that were going on during World War II and the Cold War, and how like a lot of these meetings, once you learn about them, change the entire way that you view history. To take one that's like a more general example, before I think it was the 70s or the 80s, we didn't know that we had cracked like the Japanese and the German codes, okay? So what the history of World War II looked like are a lot of just wonderful tactically carried out like coincidences where the Allied troops were able to catch these forces at different places, and it didn't make a lot of sense. But the moment you learn that we cracked their codes and we had access to a lot of their internal communications, and you start to learn about the leaders of these countries contacting each other and how that like coincides with world events, you get a more full picture, and your understanding doesn't just have to be this ignorant one with a few pieces that you have. And what I'm saying is, similarly here, on the outside, yeah, it looks like what you just described, but we also have to keep in mind we have behind the scenes information that there was a meeting where a document like this was decided not to be released, specifically because they were going to handle it publicly in a certain way. I think this meeting is really important because that meeting tells us everything we need to know about what happens next. That meeting is the meta level at which all the things that we're seeing play out happened. And so if there is more shit released about either of these two people or other people on offline TV, realize that you're just getting caught up in an argument that happened in private between these people who are just threatening to blackmail each other. And the more that you help making Fed look good or Pokey look bad or this, that, or the other thing, you don't know how you're playing into their hands. So I would just keep in mind at a meta level, these are a bunch of internet people who are kind of fucky and they're threatening each other with blackmail and shit. And they're playing that out in real time for everybody to see. So just think about what kind of pawn you are in this game, okay? Think about that because you have like a conscious part of it that you can play. I don't know. That's what I want to show you guys. Between all of these, this is what I want to point out is at the meta level, this is like an argument that they had in private about what they would release. And this is blackmail shit that we're seeing out here now. And to keep that in mind, because that's going to tinge the kind of information, the way it's presented, who it's presented for. Was it a leak? Was it a leak? I don't think it was a leak, okay? I don't believe in this bullshit, bro. I'm not picking up the propaganda, bro. I see through it. I'm like Geisha, dude. I have my fucking intuition, and it tells me something. I'm not ignoring it. Even if you guys say there's a bunch of evidence. Thanks for the follow. I think it's less than ideal position, but I kind of agree with it. Hate incel talk. Fed was creepy and stupid and owned up to it when he was called out. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And I don't think it was fair to pretend like Yvonne getting fired was because of Fed. And I think if Fed really felt like that was the one thing that he was super upset about, you know, I think it's fair. Now, if I was Fed, would I have just continued on or would I have released this? I probably would have just continued on. But I think he cares a lot about Yvonne, it seems like. A lot of people care a lot about Yvonne, it seems like. Everybody but Pokey. Everybody cares about Yvonne but Pokey. Apparently, now we know. Which is why it must have been particularly annoying to see her pretend like Fed is the one that turned her against him when she's in text saying, "This lazy fucking troll needs to go move under a bridge. If she thinks she can be here and have her cake and eat it too and content create like the rest of us while managing this house, well, that bitch has got another thing coming. She better go find a bridge to live under like a fucking troll." Like, okay, that's kind of not great. That's kind of yikes. Especially if you're saying that he manipulated you into saying all that shit. I don't know, bruh. I don't know about that. Yeah, that smells funky. Yvonne didn't get fired. Destiny messed up the details on that. Shocking! Destiny messing up details. Shocking. The details don't matter to DGG, bro. Did he say it right one time? Well, he said it right one time. Hey, why the fuck are you fucking bullying him for his tone? You saying he said something wrong one time? Look, he said it right over here. So where the fuck are we at? Which are we gonna believe? Like, I fucking hate you guys sometimes. I fucking hate you. Other times I think you're funny as fuck, but sometimes some of you piss me off. Especially when we talk about Destiny. Lol, yeah, but is before that, well, Fed heard that was crazy. Yvonne worked for her, so I didn't have an issue with what she was saying. I am fine with that, but it's not what she was saying in the text. It's what she said in the text combined with what she said publicly. In much the same way that what she said in private in this meeting with Fed about, oh, yeah, I promise I'm not going to talk shit about you. Yeah, oh, you just fucking sexually assaulted my friends. Yeah, that's fine. And then she says some bullshit in public. This is the key component is the private part, bruh. It's that in private, she said X. So in private, she was being a businesswoman. She said, I don't like Yvonne because she's a lazy piece of shit and she's not doing her job. Okay, fine, fair enough, businesswoman. But then if in public, you're saying that it's because of Fed and he manipulated you into hating Yvonne and all this other bullshit, like, No, that is where it's fishy because that's not at all what happened in private. You can be the businesswoman in private, but just fucking own up to that shit. Go in, like, I think that was the problem. That probably triggered this dude. He was probably like Napoleon on his fucking island. And he's just like fuming. I don't like this. I don't like this. Yeah, you remember that fucking blackmail, bitch? Well, how about if I just, I'm going to DM this around for some people to proofread it. I'm going to send it to Pichu. Like, I don't know how the fuck that happened, but I don't think it was a mistake. I don't think it's an accident, bruh. I don't know. Yeah, the problem was that Pokey made, yeah, I don't know. Peach Monka asked. Yeah. I'm so hungry. I haven't eaten it all today. Do you have any kind of schedule? Stopped by a few times, but didn't know where you were based. Yeah, so if you go to Discord, when you join the Discord, there's a channel called ReadMe that you're put into. If you react with a thumbs up or I think anything to the post that tells you you'll get live notifications, then you're in a role that will be added every single time on Discord that I go live. So if you really, really want alerts, that is the 100% best way because it is now automated. Now there is a robot that will tell you that I'm live so that I don't forget. But besides that, nah, I don't think there's a way to know when I'm live, to be honest. I mean, you can use Twitch for its intended purpose. You can follow me and you can put on alerts and have notifications only for me because I'm the best streamer. Aside from Destiny, of course. As long as we're securely in the Destiny orbit, dude. One step ahead. Booksmarts, have you read Fed's statement yesterday regarding the doc being leaked? Nah, link it to me, bro. I'll read it. Fed seems like he is completely bending over for her now, trying to downplay. Well, because she probably took out her phone and was like, oh, Fed thinks he's got fucking leaks on lock. Well, little does he know I had a nanny cam in his fucking room or some bullshit, bro. I don't doubt that Pokimane, being the fucking businesswoman that she is, she probably has a folder on her desktop called Fed and has a bunch of shit about him on it. Like, I don't know. And she could have easily just been like, hey, buddy, saw you come out of retirement. Interesting that this thing got leaked. Totally not your fault. But assuming that it is, if I find out that you fucking leaked something about me, let me tell you, you little shit, you got another thing coming. You're going to have a whole lot of things to talk about with your therapist when I'm done with you. Like, I'm pretty sure she could, like, this is why I'm saying, if you pay attention to what is happening in private parallel to what is happening in public, realize that this private stuff could have every impact on this public stuff. Every time you see something in public from either of these people, realize that in private, they're making deals and shit about what they talk about publicly. So don't take that shit at face value. Think about what's happening behind the scenes and be careful, okay? Really, for the love of God, be careful. Think about that shit, guys. Think about that there is a parallel thing that's happening in private that you don't have access to. This is the parasocial thing, isn't it? Keep in mind that this parasocial shit, you only see this half, that everybody's leaking, dude, the fucking leakers. And why are they leaking? Why were there screenshots of this conversation in particular? You don't fucking know because you don't have this half. You don't know what happened in private. You have no idea, okay? So keep that in mind. You do not have the private. You only have the public. Why is the public released? Well, now that we know that there's reasons for what's released and what's not and shit, and that they're having private meetings, all of a sudden I give a lot less fucks about the public stuff because it's a tool for these people to do with whatever they shall. And so I think you should keep that in mind. The Principles by Machiavelli. The Monka fucking S. Why am I getting Monka S all the time? Do you think Destiny's view on the situation could be influenced by behind-the-scenes info? He seemed to allude to it. Yes. Honestly, I haven't talked to him about it, so I can just make any assumption that I want. You know, part of the worry now that I talk to streamers in private is that I need to not, like, allude to things if we had private conversations. I haven't talked to Destiny about this, so I don't know what the fuck he knows and what he doesn't know. But from watching that, it seems to me that he's aware of something about Pokemon's fucking sexual relationships. And it may be that she had some kind of interesting relationship with Fed. And so it could have been that from the very, very beginning, when she's trying to paint this relationship with Fed in her ideal way, from when the things first came out about Fed all the way until now, that could have been a gross misrepresentation of what happened. And when you think about one of the lessons that Fed constantly repeats, and everybody constantly repeats, that he says he learned from, was the moment that he said he was anything more with Pokey than what she was comfortable with them being. So the moment he said, yeah, you could try to go after her, but we kind of got a thing. He could have been fucking her. She could have been telling him all this fucking stuff about, yeah, you're so cute, and I fucking, oh man, I love you. You brighten my day, whatever. She could have said all this bullshit in private, right? And then this could have happened in public, right? Like, this is what I'm saying is like, people with these labels and stuff for relationships, some people don't care if they're banging you or they're doing this or they're doing that. And they may have a very different idea of what's going on. And the fact that Fed points out this one situation where he learned about not calling her girlfriend or whatever means that they probably had a very deep kind of couple of conversations about this babe shit, this girlfriend shit, whatever. He could be very well trained, like, not to talk about this. And this could be the one thing that Pokey wants to focus on. And for that reason, it could be the one thing where Destiny's like, you say this shit, but I know that you're banging this person and probably Fed and whatever, and you seem to lie consistently across the board about the nature of your relationships with all of these different people. And the fact that you're a liar about all these different people in their relationships, if you start saying some shit and there is evidence that is public now that is not something I just know in private, but is something that appears to be demonstrated in these text messages, then I can say for 100% fact, you're being a lying piece of shit. And it's not because of something I know in private, because now it's public. I get a sneaking suspicion that that's what's going on with that. That would be my guess. But I don't know, because again, I haven't talked to him about it. Bro, you're talking about these people as if they're politicians. They kind of are, guys. Oh, man. They're content creators, bro. All of these people, I'm having to learn how to become one of them, bro. All of these people have their fucking incentives. They're making a gazillion fucking dollars doing this. It's probably part of the reason why Pokey knew if Yvonne becomes a fucking content creator, she's not going to give two shits about her job or whatever the fuck we're paying her, because she's going to make a gazillion dollars doing content creation. And, like, if Yvonne is put in a situation where she has to choose, do I put time into, like, managing this thing for the house, or do I do the sponsorship deal that just came up or some shit like that? Yvonne is probably going to pick the thing that is worth significantly more money. So that could have been, this is totally speculative, but that could have been one of many worries, okay? These people are politicians behind the scenes. All streamers are, really. If they're making money off of this shit, they definitely are. Like, you guys have to realize that I don't make shit off of this, okay? So the only people I'm trying to manipulate are you guys, so you can give me money on the Patreon, which, by the way, if you didn't know, support me on Patreon so that, you know, when I get canceled, all this is worth it. Let's see here. Oh, why can't I, oh, there it is. Wait, how come these aren't showing up? Oh, I think oh, there it is. Okay. Don't make shit off this yet. Yet is the key word. And when I do, you best believe that if I'm making a bunch of money off of Destiny or something, I'm going to think twice about making fun of Destiny. Or if I'm making a bunch of money off of Fed and Pokey, I may think twice about, like, covering this shit, you know, and vice versa. If I know I can make a bunch of money doing drama about these two, I might pretend that there's more going on than there is. That's just human nature. Yeah, like you're saying, that's just human nature. But they love us. Why would they lie, Bible Thump? Because money. Because they make money. You're missing this part of it, bro. It's the money. If you can make the money, it doesn't matter, bro. It's all about the money. Just become a Destiny hater? Nah, it's not very fashionable, bro. It's not very fashionable. You kind of get more content out of agreeing with him and defending his takes to other people. No, just kidding. I think the tides have turned. I think you probably get more out of being aggressive with him. I know, right? Before he gets so big, he goes on his own Georgia election arc. That is true, huh? Yeah, he could be using this for the greater good, bro. He's like fucking Robin Hood. He's taking the views and the clicks and the subs from drama, and then he's funneling them into his Georgia campaign. I'm trying to bring democracy to the people of Georgia by taking your money. Oh, shit. Kind of makes sense, to be honest. Yeah. Let's enjoy Booksmarts now before he's too big. He's become a content creator, politician, sag. Yeah. Soon enough, bro. Soon enough. There's nothing more political than the entertainment business. It's true. Because it's rhetoric and shit. I have to you have to manage your audiences and other people's audiences and creators and expectations and and then you have to manage this weird world where privately I know XYZ and all these things, but publicly you guys only know so much. And I get to be the arbiter of what gets released publicly to my audience. And so I have to think not just what behind the Iron Curtain with me knowing everything, what I think. I have to worry about what the people who are on the other side of the Iron Curtain with no information, you guys, I have to care what you think. And I have to feed you information that makes sure that after I just move these little pits out, these little parts out of the Iron Curtain, they're going to build this kind of image of something, right? I think that's how this stuff works. Pretty sure. Get politics out of my entertainment. K. Kona. Get these politics out of my entertainment. I don't give a fuck about Pokemon. Sounds like a Muslim. Is that K. Kona enough for you, dude? Some Islamophobic fucking Southern dude? Yikes. Booksmarts, have you made any content purely on parasocial relationships? No, I fucking hate parasocial. It's a stupid fucking idea. I think it's stupid. I hate it. I know you talked about it before, right now. No, I hate it. I think it's stupid. I think it's silly. I hate talking about it. Because I think the people that engage in it are sad, so it's sad to talk about, and I don't want to make them out to be worse than they are. And now that I'm benefiting from parasocial relationships, I don't parasocial yada yada. I don't know what that means. now that I'm a creator, bro, I don't know. Wakanda. I don't understand. I am not so sad. I am happy, I swear. Okay. You can read that in Ed's voice. I'm not sad. I am happy. I swear. Just sweeping under the rug, huh? Yep. Sweep, sweep. Skirt. Milking the sad viewers. Basically, bro. Basically. Okay, let's turn that off. Whoops, I'm clicking all the wrong things. All right. Jesus Christ. Rory-chan. Rory-chan. Arigato ne, Rory-chan. Why is your name katakana? America-jin desu ka? Weeaboo desu ka? Booksmarts, if so, how powerful do you think Pokey is? If you had to make a power scaling based on political power in Twitch, where would you place the big streamers? She's got to be an S tier, dude. She's scary. Because not only does she have a huge following that are simping out for her, but she also, so she has the best kind of audience, the simp audience, the stan audience. But she also has some of the most people on the platform, and she's smart and she's manipulative, which we've kind of learned from this one interaction. So it seems like she's a powerhouse, dude. She's got a lot of powerful things going for her. She's got to be S tier, I think. Let's see here. But they love us. Why would they lie? Yeah, it's just sad. Okay, let's get off of this topic. Boring. Snooze fest. This is not a drama stream. Although it could be. If I make enough money. And she got defeated by a gnome. Godstiny. I don't think she got defeated by the gnome. I think she took the gnome's advice and didn't give any answers, really, to be honest. When she was talking about being young and that's a 21-year-old relationship or whatever, I thought she watched the Destiny stream and she was like, oh, yeah, that's fucking good. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I was just young. I didn't know what I was doing. Wow, manipulation. I had no idea. As a matter of fact, I think I may have manipulated here. I think there were some private conversations behind the scenes that you simply didn't see. I've learned a lot since then. I promise my relationships don't look like this anymore. Vosh voice? Bro, that's like my sociopath voice. When someone wants to come out as like rich, educated, smart, fucking, they know everything that's going on, whatever. That's my fucking sociopath voice, dude. Are you a good liar, Books? I would like to think so, but maybe not. Her smartest bit was not even acknowledging Destiny's takes on it at all. True. To not say that, and I've seen some gnomes out there saying some pretty horrible things about me, and I just want to say this. Just because it took you a long time to figure out how to have a relationship and how to tell if a woman really likes you does not mean you need to be projecting that onto people. You need to realize that I was being duped by a sexual predator who was preying on people in the house that I had not no idea, of course, because now we had these leaks and you know that I knew. I didn't know all of it. I didn't know all of it, okay? And it was awful. And he convinced me to hate my friends. He convinced them to hate me. I just didn't have time to hang out with everybody. I don't fucking believe you, dude. I don't believe a word of it, bro. I don't believe you. I think you're alligator tears and you cannot be fucking trusted. If I'm being quite honest. Anywho. I don't want to get in more trouble, bro. I don't want to get in more trouble. Do you think the timing of this tweet is suspect coming from another offline TV member, or is this paranoia? Who the fuck is Arya Saki? Who the fuck is this? WH Omegalol. I don't even know who this person is. Oh, they're with Toast. Is this a Toast girlfriend? That performance was awesome. Thanks, dude. Sensitive topic. But a month ago, I was in a very dark place and planned to end it all. Holy fuck. Toast reached out to me, talked to me till 6 a.m. to make sure I was okay. Aw, that's good. Invited me to OTV for healing and ultimately saved Arya Saki. That's nice. You have him to thank for me being here today. HBD Toast. What's HBD? Did he get diagnosed with something? Is this like a hashtag? Does he have HBD? Me too, HBD. Happy birthday. Ah, okay. HBD. Happy birthday. Okay. I was a little concerned for a second. I'm like, that's sad. Now he's got HBD, dude. This dude's fucked. That sucks. Are you pepegging me? How dare you? How dare you? She's Lily's best friend? I don't fucking know. I thought Steven was Lily's best friend. What the fuck? I'm behind on the times, dude. I thought Steven was Lily's best friend. Don't cry, Queen. Take this donut and buy yourself something. Forget all about him, dude. I feel like I wasn't insanely stupid at 21 when it came to relationships, but it must be different when you have more access to potential dating partners and do less introspection. It's different when you're a fucking manipulator, dude. When you grew up being a manipulator, you bring that with you into relationships. Or if you find manipulation to be like a helpful thing in relationships, then you pull that shit in relationships. That's what Destiny said that he's done before. He's been fairly open about that. He's super manipulative with relationships, or at least he was in the past. So when he's seeing that Pokimane is doing all this shit, it's almost like he's looking at a reincarnation of himself. He's like, younger me would have fucking loved this woman and how she's manipulating this shit to be X, Y, and Z way. That's why he was relating with Pokemon and all of this. And that's why he felt like he could criticize her, because he's like, I know this manipulative shit. I totally would have been down for this shit when I was younger, but this is really fucked. And from the girl perspective, it's a bit unique. And then he's talking about some of the behaviors he thinks are manipulative in women that he doesn't think they should do. Squad W, whatever. Have you done any voiceover in animation or video games? I haven't. But hey, if you want me to, DM me or email me, booksmarts.twitch@gmail.com. Let me know about your latest project, bro. $25 an hour. Pretty reasonable. Whether that's for voice acting, whether that's for whatever. I'm kind of open to get hired by any of these streamers to do stuff too. I think streamers could use a smart person in their circle, like maybe a consultant of sorts, somebody, an oracle to go to and ask questions when you don't know the answer. Kind of like a fortune teller, but like you know, just when you're 50-50, just when it's a toss-up, just when you think you could pick either option, I think it can be helpful to have a good tiebreaker person. I think I'd be a good tiebreaker person. Tell me your pros and cons of both. What are you looking to get out of it? I ask the right questions and then help, you know, narrow that down. I mean, technically, a lot of birthdays is a death sentence. Yikes. True. True, though. Yikes, but true. In before you get 50 emails for free voiceover work for shitty, unfinished, one developer games. I said 25 an hour, okay? So if you guys heard free, you're hearing with your fucking proletariat brains. Your proletariat ears are hearing free. I didn't say free. I said 25 freedom dollars, okay? I need 25 freedom points to help me get a fucking house so that I can not live in a fucking van. Free, Pog? I heard free. He said free an awful lot of times. Oh, shit. Political campaign advisor? Yeah. Kind of what you did with Destiny? Yeah, except take it seriously from my perspective. Take it more seriously. Yeah, like Destiny, but serious. Let's see here. Do you think you would like to be called Noah in the future, or do you like books? For anybody that like knew me behind the scenes before I got popular on Twitch, I was very adamant about being called Books. I like books. I like book, but I also like military nicknames like Rook or Bishop or like shit like that. I'm a cringe lord, dude. I like that stuff. And so Book for me kind of sounds like Rook, and I think Book is like a cool name. Like when I hear Book, I think about like the turtle from Sly Cooper or the fat guy in the chair from Kim Possible. Thanks for the follow. Cringe Lord Pagu. Yeah, like you know the dude Ray or whatever the fuck his name was from Kim Possible, the dude that sits in the computer and does all this shit. That's what I think like Book would be a cool name for. So yeah, I like Book or Books. I think they're both fine. And like part of the reason that may like contribute to that, and here's some lore, like I have always for essays and stuff used different names as like my authorial title or whatever. Like so I've been used to not being called Noah for a long time. And you guys have to think, if I started doing essays like really early on in my adult life, like when I was still in high school, and that's kind of been my gig for most of my life, you have to imagine that I actually hear people call me another name on the phone and on text and on emails more than I hear them ever call me Noah. Kind of the only people that call me Noah are people that knew me from like an IRL activity, like my family, people that knew me from school, people who I met at like a bar or something. And even when I meet people in real life, if I know that there may be a business connection with them, I'll tell them a different name sometimes. Like I'll be like, yeah, my name's Noah, but I like to go by my middle name. I like to go by Jacob as well, or Jake. And that's because my writing name uses my middle name. It uses Jacob. And so like I'm pretty used to being called a billion names that are not my name. So I'm pretty okay with Books. I'm pretty fine with it. Like if you yelled like maybe one of like a dozen names in a bar, it's very likely that I'll respond to it because I'm used to just having other names. Isn't a consistent name in essays good for branding? No, not really. Not really. Because some people really, really, really want an essay writer who is local to them because they feel like there's some recourse if something goes wrong, or they could meet you, or I don't know what the fuck the reason is. But if you start to have the same name and you're posting advertisements or marketing materials in multiple different like college towns in multiple different states, what ends up happening is they realize, wait, no, this Noah guy is the guy in California. This Noah guy like is too far away or whatever. And so you want kind of different names for different like regions. And so that's part of one reason why there were multiple names. But so no, it actually, you would be surprised, does not help to have a consistent name. Maybe per region, but that's like an insight that I've found. What's the sitch? Oh yeah. I'm here to change the world. Am I impossible? There is nothing I can't do. That song's fucking pog, dude. 100% relatable. Same here with Strax. Yeah, that's a pretty cool fucking name too. Strax is pretty rad. I think people feel that Books is a little pepega. And so they're not really cool with it. Because other people I talked to IRL were telling me that they thought Books was a really fucking cringe name and they would never want to be called Book or Books. Like, why the fuck would you want to be called Book? That's stupid. So I will admit, I am aware that other people would not be down with that name. It's just that I'm down with that name. I think it's cool. Mr. Books. I actually really like Books. I do too. We're in the same boat, dude. It's definitely the creamer that makes me get all phlegmy. I may have to like rethink coffee, honestly, for the shows. You could just go by Bookie. Some people really like calling me Bookie.
Bookie boy. Yugi boy.
The cream coomer. I'm cooming. In the Emperor's voice, Noah is no more. You will hence.
Noah is no more. You will henceforth be known as Booksmarts.
I can't do the Emperor's voice, bro. My throat's all fucked from the fucking this Kaiba boy.
Kaiba boy.
They say the same about Destiny. Isn't that a girl's name? He actually doesn't seem to like his name necessarily either. It may be like an over time thing. I think it is fucked to make fun of his name for being a girl's name. But, hey, you know, when you don't got anything else, bro, you take the swings in where you could get him. Maybe a dairy substitute wouldn't be so phlegmy. Yeah, maybe, but I bet you a dairy substitute would not taste the way I want it to. He says it's cringe in IRL events when everyone else has a normal name. I could see that, but Destiny is a normal name. It's like a girl's name. He's complained about it before when it comes to anything remotely serious. I see. I feel like somebody could have named their kid Destiny, though. Like, I could see somebody growing up and their name is just dead-ass Destiny. Start drinking coffee black, easy. I would, but it makes me really jittery, and it actually... I find that I'm able to sleep easier at night if I put cream in the coffee than if I didn't. Oh, by the way, this is a tangent I will not go down with you guys. Go do it on your own, because I know most of you will not go do it on your own. So it's basically the same thing as saying we're not ever going to talk about it and you're not ever going to learn about it. Different people process caffeine differently, and different people actually process coffee differently. And you actually, if you play around with it, you may find that even something as simple as adding creamer to your coffee can really impact the way that you're processing the caffeine in it. And some people don't process caffeine at all, and that's literally why they could drink cups of coffee like it's water, because it's not doing anything for their body. It's going straight through them. Other people, actually, cream and dairy have an impact on how your body is going to process that caffeine, how long that takes, and how much of it you're going to get. And it's kind of interesting to look into that. We still don't have it locked down. I don't feel like we have a very good idea of what's what with that, but we are finding that for different people, there seem to be genetic dispositions towards how they're handling their caffeine, and it really depends on how they're ingesting it and when. He says it's cringe. Okay. He's complained. Okay. Start drinking coffee black. I don't know. I guess it's a girl's name, but he fucking owns it. True. Reject coffee. Embrace Monster Energy. You joke, but I do drink Monster as well. I've been doing that more lately, although I know it's bad. Source, if you have one? Nope. I just fucking said you're going to have to go find it, bro, because I'm not looking for you. Everybody, when I started Twitch, okay, I said, hey, why don't you guys just always use sources? Why don't you just always give people sources? Always look for them for people. And the reason that you don't is oftentimes the same people that will tell you that they want a source, that ask for a link, are the people who are too lazy to go look it up. They don't know how, or they just don't want to, okay? And the kind of person that either doesn't know how or just too lazy to go look it up, also, if they don't know enough to go look it up, they're not going to understand it when they read it. And if they did know enough to look it up, but they're lazy, it's not likely they're going to read it. So when people bother the fuck out of me for a study, there's a little voice in my head that's getting bigger that tells me, fuck them, dude. Don't fucking waste it. Don't give it to them. They're not even going to fucking read it. If they really wanted to read it, you could give them keywords and they could look it up, but they won't. So don't even bother with the keywords because they have the keywords in your explanation. They could go find it, right? Or they could find something that may even be better, that may have been cited more times. Because the other thing is, if I go and look for it, odds are I'm not finding the exact article that I wanted. Odds are I'm going to have to find something related, okay? And odds are that if I find something that's related, it's not exactly what you're looking for. It's open to criticism. It's something I may not have read before. And then we compound all these other problems. So if they are serious, perhaps they're serious for the wrong reason. Perhaps they don't really care about the source. They care about, like, dissecting the source or asking you another question, like, oh, but in the methodology, it says that this is only looking at 50 people. How do you gauge whether or not to trust something like this versus a study that looks nationwide? And then you get in a whole other fucking discussion with people. So I've found that oftentimes the best thing to do is just not do that. Same when people ask me, like, oh, was there a VOD to that? Is that on Twitch? And I go, yeah, it's on Twitch. It should be titled like something or other. And they're like, oh, okay. Do you have like a link with like a timestamp? No, you're not a fucking creator. I'm not doing all this fucking work to timestamp some bullshit for you so you have a link. I gave you the title of the fucking video. You can go look for it, bruh. This is the kind of shit that my privilege as a streamer has started to bother me about. I cannot do this stuff for you guys. When you ask me to do this stuff, this is why I'm not doing it. Same with when you ask me for, like, where's your Twitter? Where is it? Damn, dude, go off. I kind of am, bruh. It's annoying. Where's your Twitter? Oh, you said to email you, but I don't see it. Like, if you really wanted it, what do? If I need a creator's email, I go to the About on their YouTube. If it's not there, I go to the About on their Twitch. If it's not there, they probably have a command for it. So I'll go to a VOD, I'll look for the command. I go through 3 different steps before I would bother them to ask for it. I'll look up their name on Twitter. I'll go through all these things because for me, bothering the creator is kind of at the top for shit like that. Now, if you have a question about something that wasn't answered or something like that, that's totally fine. I love your questions. I just don't like you asking me for a source. Don't ask me for sources, bro. You go find your own fucking sources. That's what I'm. Booksmarts woke up this morning and chose violence. Boryoku. Yeah, bro. I'm being violent today. I'm being violent. Oh my God, the leg. Yeah, when the leg comes up, you know that I'm posturing for attack. I'm posturing for attack. I've had enough of asking me for sources. You guys bother me with it. Enough. Patreon smarts. Oh, true. Oh, this is because I had my leg. I thought you were saying post the source. You know what? You know what I should do? Every time somebody asks me for some shit like that, I should add it to a list of sources that I release every like 2 weeks on the Patreon. And then I'll just start telling people, oh, it's on Patreon. Yeah, it's like one of the sources on Patreon. You should go check it out. That's a great question. Let me go ahead and answer it for my patrons. I'm turning into an evil streamer, dude. I can feel it. Oh, shit. Imagine looking for sources, lol. Just know things. Pharmacokinetics of caffeine in lactating dairy cows. Oh, fuck. I don't think I found the right study. Yikes. I don't think that's right either. I'm going to clip this and link the clip in my master's thesis. Thanks, books. Yeah, for sure. Demanding a link is little more than a tool of dismissal. They're not interested in evidence anyway most of the time. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, even if I give you this thing, the reason why you need it is usually kind of shitty.
Ooh,
why do you have shorts on?
Everyone likes their own brand,
Wait, did I
don't
show
they? This
anything?
is magic.
No, I
All
didn't.
right,
Okay.
analysis.
Making sure my turtle's not popping out of the shell, if you know what I mean. I lifted my leg, gave you a little bit of a TOS shot. Nut smarts, pop it. No, that's gross. I don't know why people do that. If someone is asking me something, I usually assume they want my take on it or how I view it. If you just want general info, go search Google. I ain't got time to do research for you. That's where I'm at, bruh. Go look at Google. Google's the right person to ask. You're barking up the wrong tree, brother. Yeah. Although I do love teasing it. Oh man, am I Pokimane? I love teasing it though. I love going on Destiny and being like, hey, if you want, I can DM you these sources afterwards. Like, because I honestly do love people DMing me after I had said something on a show. I fucking love. Okay, I'm evil. Okay, I'll stop talking about it because I now that I think about it, I do encourage people to do it. So I do be being evil though. It do be evil though. Then link them your Patreon. Oh my god. 8 Mouse. You should be a fucking streamer, dude. You've got the sociopathy for it. This is fucking a brilliant plan. Okay, so what I gotta do is I have to make a whole big list of the sources that I'm gonna talk with Destiny or anybody about, and then I need to put them on the Patreon, and then I need to go on his show, talk about those sources, market the fuck out of them, and then be at the end like, oh, and then for the people asking about the sources, I'm really sorry. It just takes a long time to respond to each and every one of you. If you go on my Patreon, patreon.com/booksmarts, all the sources are in there. They should be labeled this. You also get free access to all my videos and other stuff. So if you want to stop by, bruh, this is fucking Fivehead. This is the Dark Triad. Is this the Dark Triad? Is this it? Am I seeing the light? He's developing the Triad into the quadrilateral object. He's gaining a vertice. What's going on? The manipulator. Holy shit. Full show notes on Patreon in quotes. Oh shit. Go for it. 10 out of 10. The black quadrilateral is born. If your Patreon looks like, actually, after that, after we have the quadrilateral, we're one away from a pentagram, bruh. We're one away from the devil symbol, bruh. We're nearly there. Feel like you are why we can't have a K-Comrade utopia. Shake my head. Feels weird, man. I mean, I've talked about this before. And this is like something that I've mentioned to Darth Bane, who actually like donates a ton of fucking gift subs. Before, actually, I should do this now. I should run a fucking ad for you guys. Matter of fact, I'm gonna run an ad now that I'm thinking about this. Thank everybody else for that. Okay, here we go. Running an ad. Poof. You don't get an ad if you pay for subs, and so it used to be that I ran ads more, and that I would say that like, hey, if you want your socialist utopia, you're going to achieve it the same way I think you'll achieve it in real life, which is to take private capital and grandfather people into your socialist system. So if you have 10 subs worth of money you're willing to give to the channel, well, you have 10 people that you could save from the capitalist hellscape, right? You have 10 people you could save from ads. And that's up to you. That is not up to me. That is up to you, okay? God makes it to where life sucks and we need food and we need shelter and we need whatever else. But you chose to subject your fellow man to that when you had enough to like save them from it. So, I honestly think that the way that we get socialist stuff in is enough rich people realize that like, fuck the government. If I think they're so bad at all this stuff, I need to provide for these people and I need to like give them that thing. For everybody just joining us from the 60-second ad break, Mushi, if you sub, you don't get ads. And that was kind of the meme. Okay. The information is free on Google. The Patreon's price is for curation. True. Pepe laughed, not subbed. You meme about that, but honest to God, that's what people pay me for their grad projects and stuff. Technically, they could go on Google Scholar in their school's database and do all the research themselves, but they're paying for somebody to read through all that and pick the best stuff. Just watch on Pop Out Mobile Player. Stop! No! Enough. Don't be telling people that. Enough. I cannot believe that you just spilled the fucking beans, dude. / ban Raider Killer Bob. More like fucking ad killer Bob. Stop. Don't tell them this shit, bro. Mushy, ooh. When did ads get an upgrade? They've gotten better. No, that's just Lily Pichu's in them now. That's why you think they're better. I think we just had a TOS moment with the mic there. Yeah, we may have. That looked a little too jankily. Fill me in about the Poke drama. No, Ozymandias, you've missed it, bro. The ship has set sail. We're done with that. We've spent so much fucking time on the Pokemon stuff. No more. No more. Okay? Wait, is that actually secret? Oops. Uh-oh. No, it's not really secret. I just don't want people getting around it, bro. I want my fucking half a penny from my viewers. Mobile watchers feels weird, man. Should probably change the title then. Uh-oh. Yeah, true. No, you know what? We're still doing crows and gore. All right, I'm going to keep my promise. Can't you just embed in DGG to avoid ads? Actually, I'm okay with you saying that. So, did you guys know that in DGG, which is Destiny's chat, you can watch me with your friends? Did you know that? You guys can all collaborate. You can talk about how, hey, we're going to go on DGG later to watch a completely different streamer. Let's embed him together. Did you know that that's a thing? I didn't. No, Moss. This is fine. Can't you just embed in? Yeah. So yeah, I think you could do that. You could watch me together with your friends in DGG. I don't mind that. DGG Pepega. Why are you making fun of me? Why are you making fun of DGG? I think you might be making some enemies here, Taryn. Taryn fear? More like Taryn's about to fear the wrath of fucking DGG, giving him Pepegas like that, bro. I think you're fucking around with the wrong set of people. I wouldn't fuck around with the DGG community, my brother. That would not be where I would go. Imagine using DGG. You were embedded earlier when you started your PokeFed. Okay. Here's where I'm confused. When you guys are saying you were embedded earlier, I thought every individual person makes a decision of what they're embedding. That's what I thought. But you guys seem to imply that there's some kind of vote or something, or Destiny picks streams to embed. I'm confused about that, because I thought everybody has a command they can do, and then they can see whatever they want in the Destiny.gg window. But what you're saying is it almost sounds like there's a vote or something for what goes in there. No, we just decide. How do you just decide, though? Is this like anarcho-communist? Is this the anarchist fucking future that everybody is telling me can happen? People just link the embed? Oh, so you can get a DGG link that's like /embed Booksmarts or whatever. You can spam the chat with the link, and then everybody who clicks on that is technically in the same viewing experience you are. But there's no way of telling how many people are watching the stream with you, right? So you could be in DGG just spamming about my stream, and the reality is that like a bunch of people are pissed off that you're watching something different, and it snowballs. I see. Okay. We'll just spam a link for whenever someone asks, what are we watching? Ree! Okay. I like that. That's pretty cool. That's pretty pog, dude. That's a brilliant idea, to just constantly keep people like on your page and on your website and on your stream. And then whenever you go live, you're just like forcing a channel change for everybody, and like, nope, you're not watching fucking Vsauce anymore. Hello, it's Destiny time. That's fucking brilliant. That's a good idea. Damn, that's a smart idea. Fucking Destiny's a smart guy. I like that. This is a good idea. Booksmart, just make sure you don't interact with DGG chat, because you will get in trouble with RTBA and Cake. Well, I've heard a lot of things about those two, and I don't want to piss off either of them. Cake seems nice to me. Cake says nice things to me when we're in chat, so I'm kind of like down with Cake. I don't think I talked to RTBA much. I asked him for a role, and he kind of shot me down, and that was the only time I've talked to him. But now I'm notable, so, you know, I got there. If like 5 to 8 people are talking about something or reacting with emotes, a lot of people ask what you're watching. That makes sense. Yeah, don't read DGG. You'll get banned. Okay. Actually, it doesn't force change. Oh. Bro, that must be annoying. A bunch of people are fucking reacting to Pokemon while I'm trying to stream. I would hate that, bro. That would be annoying. Poking the Bear, Monka W. Why? I'm not. What? I'm not reading it. I'm not on their chat. I don't even know if we're in the thing. What I do know is when I end the stream, it gives me statistics on like where like outbound traffic was from, and DGG is almost always the highest thing because I don't fucking get embedded anywhere else. And so it's interesting to see DGG in there all the time, and I always wonder, what does that mean? Like, are they embed? Like, what does embedding mean? Now I know. RTBA is like the basilisk. Don't look him in the eyes. Okay. I'll try not to. Fuck, we need to get through Crow stuff. I want the Crow stuff to not be on my to-do list anymore. Let's see. Crow intelligence, justice, and generational memory. Okay. You know, I know that the clickbait was for the Crow stuff, but I actually got really disappointed in this. So the initial thing that I looked at was this Reddit source. Okay, and that should be posted in both chats. I clicked on this and I was reading through the comments, and they were talking about anecdotes of very, very, very intelligent crow things that I didn't know that they do. Like they were talking about like they remember people, and that for years and years and years, if you return somewhere, they recognize you if you threw something at them. And like there's a lot of like, and I looked through and I did corroborate that a lot of other people, especially those living in rural communities, seem to recognize that crows have really good memory. And if you do something shitty to like a murder of crows, they can remember that about you, and they can bark at you all the time and attack you. And so people try not to fuck with the crows. Now, I looked into this, okay, being the research guy that I am. When I see anecdotes like this and nobody's really linking like good science here, I get curious. I get curious, okay? And so I go look for that stuff. What I unfortunately found, and in full transparency, somebody else was getting tutoring from me, and they asked me like what topic I would want them to look at. And I said this because I didn't find much of what I was looking for. And they found more or less the same shit that I did. They remember colors, they remember some objects, whatever. But there's nothing that like, I found one study actually. Here, let me find it. I only found this one study that talks about how they, here, let's see here. Data heap, downloads. I think it's this one. Okay, in this study, for anybody that wants to look it up or is watching the VOD, the study is called Lasting Recognition of Threatening People by Wild American Crows. It was published in Animal Behavior in 2010, and the article is by Marslouf, Walls, Cornell, Withy, and Craig. Now, in this, they talk about a lot of shit that I was looking for. I don't have a link to this one because I have it downloaded. I don't know where I got it from. So first of all, they talk about, they put masks on people, and then they had these masked people go out and trap and fuck with crows. And then what they did was they returned to those murders with people with the mask and people without the mask, and to throw off the crows. And knowing that crows have color memory and a few other interesting things, they would also wear armbands with colors to try and see if maybe they recognize something other than the face, other than the mask. And what they end up finding is that the birds didn't care about the armband. The birds didn't care about the color. And the birds weren't affected by other things such as gait, or like how you're walking. What is the space in between your steps? You know, they didn't seem to be paying attention to other things they could have been paying attention to. They specifically remembered the mask, because when you would put the mask on people, then they would respond to the mask, but they didn't respond without the mask. Now, I don't think, and granted, I didn't read the entire thing. Yeah, here it is. Okay. They have pictures in the masks here, so you can see what the masks look like. They're kind of fucking scary, dude. Does anybody have a link to this? They're kind of Monka W or Monka S, I think. Because some of them, they're like Neanderthal looking. But yeah, so they remember the masked people and they attack all the masked people, which implies that they have like facial recognition of some sort. But that's not what I want. that's not telling me that they actually remembered like human faces. That tells me they remember masks. So even that was like not good enough for me.
Małpa Dartupane thanks for the gifted sub.
Aw, he's thanking somebody for his gifted sub, I think. That's cute. Let's see here. But yeah, they have pictures of the masks and everything. They tried to account for other things. This is the closest I could find to like prove what these people are talking about in the Reddit comments. But sometimes research is disappointing. Sometimes you go looking for evidence that supports or corroborates stories that you just don't find. And an interesting thing that I keep finding with this field in particular is when it comes to animal cognition or animal intelligence or whatever, this still seems to be a very, very, very early field. I think there's either a Planet Money or a 99% Invisible or a Radiolab or NPR podcast about dog intelligence and this woman who studies dog cognition. And she talks about how it's like a fairly new field and, we're trying to make sense of some of the relationships and stories we have about animals, what they seem to be good at, what they seem to be bad at. And it's difficult because what you're constantly trying to contend with is the picture that people have in their minds of animals and how they're meant to behave and what they think the animals are smart at or can pick up on or pay attention to. And because you're so ingrained in thinking, oh, well, the animal must recognize English because they respond to me this way. Like, it could be that you're doing something with your feet when you make a command. It could be that they're picking up like a shuffle that's on the ground. They could be getting the signal from a million other things other than your voice, and you need to be open to like confusing and surprising realizations like that. Like it could be a smell that they're responding to. It could be a dozen other things, and like this continues throughout. Like, do they recognize your face or do they recognize your smell or do they recognize, and you might be like, well, when I got a haircut, he fucking started barking at me. So clearly he like has some idea of what I look like and he wasn't happy with like, you kind of reverse engineer a bunch of like memories you have and you come up with reasons why the animal behaved that way. But when you observe them in like scientific settings or you are looking at their brain that's lighting up as you're testing things or you're doing any of this stuff, you're going to come with different conclusions because you're looking at different things. And I think a lot of people struggle with that. And it also makes it difficult to interpret these studies because, again, we don't even really understand human intelligence super well. So trying to look at that in animals who have an entirely different physiology is difficult. In this study in particular, in all these studies looking at crows, one thing that keeps coming up is that the crow brain is different than a lot of the other brains we look at of mammals and other animals we try to measure the intelligence of. Like crows lack certain parts of their brain. Crows have a weird way that their eyes are wired. Crows don't have the same parts of their brain light up when they're trying to process information or engage in critical thinking. And so that brings up the question of like, well, if the mechanics of the crow brain are this different, then we're just kind of measuring intelligence as behaviors. But is it significant that the behaviors are coming from different systems? Is it worthwhile to categorize them by like physical brain systems compared to their behavior? Or like, and it gets difficult. And when we look at behavior, why is it that a lot of our behavior tests all seem to indicate that animals that are intelligent have similar levels of intelligence? Like, for instance, crows can do a memory test wherein you show a bunch of colored like squares on the screen, and then you're changing one of the colored squares after a period of not showing the squares at all. So like if I had 5 squares on the screen and I have one that's blue and I'm going to turn it to red, what I'll do is I'll black out the screen for a certain amount of time, and then I'll turn the screen back on, and this red one will be a different color. Okay? And then as the animal taking the test, you're meant to indicate somehow that you noticed that that's the one that changed colors. And what this is meant to measure is not only your memory over that blank period, but also how many objects are you paying attention to and you're keeping track of. Because the other thing that we could do beyond even those dimensions is we can look at distractibility. If we put in something that's different, that's new in the second image, but is not related to the memory task at all, like a squiggle or something else, how much does that throw off your ability to do this? And if we showed you distractions at the very beginning in the first image and those distractions move, how many of those distractions can we include and move around before you're not able to perform on the test anymore? And by doing this, we can start to like see more about the behavior of these animals. But it's weird because they all seem to drop off at around the same point. You have 4 or 5 items on the screen that are colored boxes, and whether it's a primate or it's a crow, they seem to then immediately start to struggle with the task. And like, like I wonder why is it that because even with their brains being so different, the parts of the brains being different that are lighting up and everything else, their memory seems to be like the same amount of things. Like there could be 101 reasons why that is. And it's weird to me that the mechanisms are so different, but the working memory appears to be similar. I don't think that that's like a coinky dink. And I think like if we understood the mechanics better, we might understand this better, and we might be able to design better tests. Because here's the other thing. In human brains, we can design tests around like what area is fire and how people are telling us they're thinking about things, but we don't have those same things for animals necessarily, or they're not as developed as they are for humans. And so I don't know, it's such a difficult field. I don't know how you would like embark on this. Thank you for the sub. That's what I'm gonna do when I see one of my friends with a whack ass haircut now. Poggers, who are you? Who are you? You smell like my friend, but you don't look like it. Is that what you're gonna do, bro? You're gonna pretend to be a dog? Interesting. But yeah, that's everything on the crows, bro. It was kind of disappointing. But maybe that's worthwhile to mention. You know, you'll not always find what you're looking for, especially if what you're looking for is something to back up anecdotes. And at some point, you need to realize like, that's right, I am looking for anecdotes, and I don't seem to find these anecdotes. And rather than think that like clearly the anecdotes just don't have studies for them, instead I'll think that like we probably don't have the things to prove the anecdotes, and it probably means the anecdotes are wrong, not that like the science is off, to be honest. Yeah, anywho, that's crows. What else is in here? Gore. Okay, let's cover gore real quick, because soon enough I have to go to Thanksgiving, if you guys remember. Today is Turkey Day in America. I think we wasted a bunch of time on the pokey stuff, but I think you guys enjoyed it, so it is what it is. Let's see. Gore. I've started to develop the same taste that you guys have. I kind of just want to, I kind of like doing the off-script stuff now more than I do the scripted stuff. I'm starting to see that, like, the scripted things are less good in your guys' eyes, and kind of in mine now at this point. I mean, they could be better. If I did a podcast or something, I'm sure I could edit it to be interesting if I didn't have the chat to interact with. But the fact that I have a chat to interact with makes it to where, I don't know. Let's see. Oh, no. I want to do a public service broadcast before I do that. I want to tell you guys something that's going to help you out in life. A lot like the Pokemon thing. Okay, so here's something that'll help you guys out in life. A habit. Okay, think about a habit. What is a habit in your brain? We're moving into December, January territory. You might be thinking of doing some New Year's resolutions to improve some things in your life. Life hacks, yeah. He's backing up. Is the leg coming back out? No, I'm not. I'm not in a defensive posture. Okay, actually, the leg is coming up. Okay, so, you may be trying to change some behaviors, okay, in 2021. You may be trying to form some better habits or get rid of some bad ones. Here is the Power of the Habit book. No, it's not from a book. So here is what I think is going to be the most helpful piece of advice to past me. And because I'm limited in like how I can estimate other humans, I have to just, whatchamacallit, I have to just like talk to past me and assume that it'll help you guys. So for past me, I think it would have been helpful to remember and constantly keep this like this single sentence in your mind when you're trying to do something. So whether that's you want to walk, every single day, or you want to stop eating fast food or stop drinking soda or do this or do that or not do this or not do that, I would say the most helpful sentence for me is always and has always been, a habit is just 2 times. Okay? A habit is just twice. A habit only requires 2 times. A habit is just twice. What do I mean by this? Well, you are officially breaking your habit and you are officially forming your habit if you just do the right thing twice. And I think if you can limit all of your view of changing yourself and all of your view of this goal and all of your view of the habit into just this, you will succeed. Okay? And there is just 2 steps. There is the very first one, which is the most difficult, which is to do the right thing the very first time or to not do the right thing the very first time. If you don't want to go and eat out every day, remember that the moment you made the decision, the moment that thought popped in your head and you said no and you chose to do something else, there you go. That's 1 on the board. You're halfway there. The next time that this feeling comes up, you only need to do that 1 more time and you've officially formed the habit. You get the gold star. You've done it. And now it's just about making sure that you maintain that habit. And then every time you can just say, it only took 2. It only took 2. And this also helps when you break it, okay? When you break a habit. So let's say I was doing a diet, but I knew my mom would beat my ass if I didn't eat her food today, okay? I'm going to accept that a habit is doing something twice. And if all throughout the year I was making a habit of eating well and eating healthy, the fact that I one day, one time had the Thanksgiving meal with my family does not mean that I've broken that entire string of like things that I've been doing, because it takes twice to make a habit. A habit is twice. Okay? So if immediately after that Thanksgiving dinner for my next meal, I had the option of eating like shit and forming a habit of eating like shit, or I eat healthy and I continue that, if I choose to eat healthy and continue that, congrats. You didn't just fall back into the habit of eating shittily, okay? And you get your gold star. Narrowing the window of habit formation and whatever into this 2-step paradigm where you look at the last thing you did, you look at what you're going to do now, and you look at the next thing maybe, I think this really helps you just stay on track. To realize that if you fucked up one time and you're looking back in the past and you go, fuck, I fucked up the last time, you are in the most key moment because you can do the most important step, which is the first one in the new habit, and you can make the worst step, which is to form a habit out of doing the bad thing. And so if you find that you fucked up in the past, you are at a significant crossroads where you can continue to form a habit that is negative or you can break it. And likewise, if you feel like, oh, yesterday I fucking walked as long as I thought I was supposed to walk, and today I got to walk, but I got a tummy ache, whatever. Remember, you only have to do it this one time, and then you've got the yellow star. It's a habit, okay? So just go out there and fucking do it. And it doesn't matter if it was half-assed or whatever. You'll probably feel better tomorrow. And I can guarantee you'll feel better tomorrow looking back and knowing that you formed the habit today, that you did it the second time, you got the gold star, and now when the third time comes up, you're just building on top of that, okay? And every time you fuck up, remember, have I done this twice? Well, then I'm making a bad habit out of it. I have to change that. I'm at the most important step because I can make the first of 2 steps that'll form a good habit, okay? And I really think that this is way more positive, a much more forgiving system to think about things. The way you're conveying this is extremely helpful. I'm going to put this in my Notion notes. Cool. And for anybody else that doesn't know, the program that I use for note-taking and time tracking and whatever is all Notion. It's an app that's free. You can get it on the desktop or on your phones, and it's for note-taking. If you've ever seen like Cornell Notes, it lets you take Cornell notes, and it's really, really helpful. But I would say that this is a thought process that I find going back to always pulls me out of ruts, whether that's to make forward progress or to stop the backwards progress. To just remember, okay, Noah, have you at least done this bad thing twice? Yeah. Okay. So you got a bad habit. What does it take to break a bad habit? Well, it's doing it twice the right way. Okay. So where I'm at right now is I have a habit of doing bad things, but I'm one away from 50% towards my goal, okay?
by doing one step, I accomplish 50% of the entire goal. If I can get 50% by doing one fucking thing one time, I'm going to do it. That's a way better sell for me than to think this is one day of my 120-day plan. All of a sudden, you go outside of this paradigm. You start thinking that a habit means doing something for fucking 6 months, or a habit means doing something for 2 weeks, or a habit means a whole week of doing something. All of a sudden, it seems like the lose condition has just expanded by almost 6 times the amount. If I fail at any point during these 7 days, I will not have formed the habit, and I will be just as bad as if I had started. And what this ends up leading to is you are pushed to the precipice, and you always choose to just jump into the deepest end and to just fucking murder yourself because you don't care. That may not be clear. Here, let me clarify that more. So what I'm saying is, when you're finally faced with an opportunity to break the habit you're trying to form or to go back to a bad habit, you go all out. Because if you've accepted that you're going to fail this one time, you've accepted an entire systematic failure. And so you're like, well, if I'm just going to have this cookie at McDonald's, I guess I'm going to order all this fucking food at McDonald's because fuck it. We broke the diet. Like, we're done, mission over, whatever. But you can't look at things that way when you only see the 2 steps, because you're constantly having to make the important choice. You're constantly having to make the choice of pass or fail, because you're constantly making a choice that either gives you 50% towards breaking the habit or 50% towards forming it. And the reality is that as a monkey living on Earth, you only experience this fucking 10 to 20 second window of like consciousness, okay? And you're constantly moving along the timeline of life, experiencing the same like minute of fucking consciousness, okay? So realistically, as the monkey living on Earth, you only ever have like the option between the 2 things. You only ever have the 2-step option, because the reality is that that's how life is experienced, okay? You experience it moment to moment. So the only guy that'll ever have the choice is the guy who is moment to moment and has the 2 decisions. Okay? So thinking about some omnipotent godlike being that gets to make the decision set in stone for days and days and days on end is fucking stupid, because that's not how you experience life. You experience it moment to moment. So try and recognize that if you're trying to make or break habits, narrowing down that vision and focusing there is going to be helpful for you. What if you do a 2-1-2-1 pattern, Pepe Laugh? Then I don't think you're doing a 2-1-2-1 pattern. And if you are 50% better than you were at the start. So let's say that your idea was that I want to not eat fast food as much, okay? And every day you're eating fast food. Well, then you had, in this case, 2-1-2-1. Okay, so you have 6. So if we're talking about your 6-day streak here, 8 Mouse, in a reality where you didn't use the habit system, you either would have broken down at the very first time you broke the habit and said, fuck it, I lose, and you would have done like 4 days or 5 days worth of eating shittily, or yeah, actually, I'm not even going to give you an or. You would have fucked up the whole thing. You would have had 5 days. And if you chose not to do anything, you would have 6 days of eating shittily. But in this situation, you had 4 days of eating well. You only had 2 days of eating shittily. You only had the 2 times you broke it. And so that too is literally a third of what you would have done had you not implemented this habit trick, right? And I would say at that point, you're eating healthier more than you're actually eating junk. So yes, even if you have the 2-1-2-1-2-1, you're significantly better at that habit. You're significantly better at curbing it, whatever your goal was, than you would have been if you didn't use it at all, or if you set yourself up for failure by like looking at things in terms of weeks and months. And I think this advice is more so aimed at the people that are having a problem changing habits. And those people that are having problems, their problem likely does not exist in the week by week fucking breakdown. Their problem exists in step-by-step decisions. And if you can control everything at a step-by-step decision level, over time, as time passes, as you had your blinder on, like remember I said that like, you're a monkey that's experiencing like 20 seconds to a minute of reality, and time just constantly keeps moving. So if I'm way over here, okay, and I just keep making the right decisions, the flow of time will go no matter what. So right decision. right decision, right decision, right decision. And then once you take the blinders off like a month later, and you can do this by setting it in your calendar, just set something on the 30th of every month to like look at your progress on your habits. When you take the blinders off and you've managed to like go way over there, you'll look back and you'll see, oh, even if it was 2-1-2-1, I did way better than I did the same time last year. Last year, I ate fast food every day. This year, I ate fast food literally 2/3 less. I got rid of 66% of the fast food eating. Even if you're 2-1-2-1-2, that's still great, you know? So if I only knew how to court, feels bad, man. Any motivational book recommendations? No, not really. What the fuck he's talking about? Make me monk of W. What? Court? No. Yeah, you said court, didn't you? Oh, count. My bad. Oh, man. You can't count and I can't read, dude. He misread. Pepe laugh. No, Megalol. Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, I think that's a much better message to give. I'm not going to talk about the gore. I will talk about that though. If you're trying to form habits and whatever, you're trying to like improve something this upcoming year, try to think about things that way. It may really pull you out of a rut. Where did I hear this that I was reminded of it? Ah, here it is. Okay. I'm going to post this in the chat. I think we're done for today, if I'm being quite honest. I think we're all done because I need to, like I said, skedaddle. This is fine. Me no count too. Me vote Donald Trump many time. Linkers, Coomer. Yeah. Or should I link this? Should I put it on Patreon and put it behind a paywall? No. Oh, wait, no. I still have to say what I'm thankful for. I'll do that right after this. There you go. There's your link. If you guys want something to listen to more on this topic, I really like this podcast. This podcast is called Focused. They talk about like working from home, working for themselves, and like how they try and maintain productivity or how they try to change habits and whatever. But in this one in particular, they talk about the 2 makes a habit thing, and I was like, oh, that's fucking pog, dude. I got to share that with Stream. It's good. It's good shit. It can be really, really helpful. For some people, all they need is a paradigm shift. They need a good mantra to repeat in their head that can get them through this, and I think that's good. I'm linking. I'm linking. Bro, I gotta give you the fucking Books Miso on that one. What is the code for the Miso emote? Booksma1 Miso? The stuff about living in limited time windows rung super true to me. Yeah, like I feel like some people like to treat past them as an omnipotent god. And of course, when you treat past you as an omnipotent god who should have been aware of all your goals and your plans and they fucking betrayed you in that moment, like then you beat yourself up a lot more. Okay? I feel like you beat yourself up way more. New emote Pog? Yeah, I like that emote, bro. I like it a lot. Show the monkey a better movie. True. Honest to God. I don't know if I should talk about this. How can I word this that doesn't sound crazy? That's the question. No. I don't think there's a way to word it that doesn't sound crazy. Yeah, you may be someone that leak it. And no, it's not leaking. It's just like at some points, it does feel like you're like a little hamster in the back of like the brain of the human that you're controlling. And I really do think saying something like show the monkey a better movie can be a helpful way of wording things to people. And I think especially when they're trying to change a habit and they catch themselves in the moment about to make the decision they don't want to make, they start to realize the disconnect between the monkey body and what it's demanding from you and the signals it's sending you and the choosing part of the brain that kind of sits in the back and is able to make decisions. I really do think that like the monkey will tell you that it wants stuff, but you really have to temper what the monkey tells you. I had a friend talk to me about weight loss stuff in private, and let me think. And something I told them that was helpful for me to hear when I was younger was, you know, if you find that you overeat all the time, which I overeat all the time, it's helpful to remember that when the hunger feeling comes, to remember that the hunger feeling cannot hurt you, okay? The hunger feeling will never do lasting damage to you. And this may seem obvious to people that don't struggle with eating, but I find that when I'm talking to people who overeat, this can be a helpful realization for them. To sit in the hunger for a moment or for a long time and to start to realize the body is telling me this shit, but I can just choose not to listen, and there are no long-term ramifications to that. If anything, when the feeling goes away physically, I'm a lot happier spiritually at the end. Because at the end, I realized I didn't eat the food that I wanted to eat, and I'm happy about that because at a larger level, I know that eating the food is not good. And oftentimes if you're overeating, you kind of have a moment of conscious realization in the middle of eating that you've reached your fill and you probably shouldn't continue. And I think to sit in that moment and realize anything that's pulling you, whether it's physical or mental or psychological, whatever the fuck, whatever is telling you to continue eating, that voice does not have a consequence if you don't listen to it. If you tune it out, if you just sit there and you sit through it, your body will not be harmed by the end of it. You won't have a broken leg. Your stomach will not twist. You will not have knotting. Bad shit is not going to happen to you. You're literally just getting signals, and you have to choose not to press a button to eat more food. And that's it. And that is the difficult fight. The difficult fight is having a million signals that tell you if you don't eat, you're going to continue to be in pain in X, Y, and Z, and having to learn that those signals are not helpful and they are part of a larger system that's reinforcing the overeating. Okay, your body is constantly telling you that it's hungry at times that you've trained it to eat, and it's constantly telling you to overeat because you've been in the habit of overeating. It thinks you need to fill to this extent, or it may have lost the ability to feel full at all because you've been overfeeding it, right? There's 101 things that are contributing to fucked up signals that are going to your brain, and you have to realize that you are not the primate that is getting tortured by all the signals. You are a deciding thing in the back of the brain who is ultimately making the decision whether or not to eat based on those signals. Now, granted, it is a bitch to ignore those signals. If you are in the fucking Chernobyl reactor room and everything is going off and you have to run through the checklist to actually fix the reactor or try to, you need to focus on the checklist that you know is real, and you have to realize that though these alarms are going off, they're not telling you anything that's helpful. The helpful thing in the moment is to go through your workflow and do the correct things in the correct order. Just because there's alarms going off does not mean that you have to respond to every single alarm. And in your body, in your monkey, your alarms are all fucked up in part because of how you have been running the monkey. The things you have been turning the monkey to, the things you have been forcing the monkey to eat, the things that you've let the monkey you've ceded control over certain functions to the monkey and to the impulses. And you need to realize that your part in this, as the thing in the back of the monkey brain, is to overstep the monkey and veto some of these signals and to jump in and go, hold on, when we feel hungry, we need to look at that because I know that I feel hungry, but based on my body and based on my overeating, I know that I am eating way more than I should be. And so maybe there's something fucked with those signals. And once you start paying attention to them and moving past them, it can help. So that's another weird thing. No, you are the allegory of the cave, Dave. You look like JonTron? That's not good. You can't make me stay in hunger. Imagine being that conscious of a human. Pepe laugh. Is that really being super conscious? I feel like you just have to pick it up in the moment. You're only aware of it in the very moment it happens. The very moment where you're like, fuck, man, I've smashed this entire burrito and I have a bunch of rice and beans. But I know that I'm full. I don't need to keep eating this rice and beans. And I know I paid for it, but it's probably better that I throw it away or give it to somebody else and not eat it, and the next time not buy the combo plate because you don't need it because you're full off of the burrito, than it is to then smash the fucking rice and beans, okay? Because you get no benefit out of smashing the rice and beans. The only benefit that you think you get from eating the extra food is to make the signal go away. But there are other ways to make the signal go away. You can wait it out. There is no consequence to waiting it out. So you have to learn that when the signal comes and you, at a rational level, know you have had enough food, you need to then step in and say, my signal system is broken. It'll keep ringing for a while because my stomach takes a while to realize that it's full. I need to step in the meantime, in the interim between when the signals turn off and having eaten enough, and make sure that we don't overeat. We don't eat more than we need to. And until those signals kind of like fall in line with what the body naturally needs to do, I have to keep overseeing this process because we fucked it up to this point. And that's what you have to do. Whether that's like way too conscious or whatever, I don't know, but I follow the mantra, just don't eat too much. But that's the thing. Is it too much when your body is telling you it's hungry? This is where the problem comes in, is for people that eat too much, that's not helpful. I don't think that's really helpful for people that are struggling with this. Okay, book smarts. Every pound you lose, I'll lose. Every pound you lose, I'll lose. Okay. I think we're done for today, honestly. I think we're all done. I think we've covered enough. How many hours did I do today? Anybody got the time for me? I bet we could go till 3, but just slow down. Yeah, true. I could just slow down. 3 hours. Oh, no. 3 hours is pretty fair. He's talking about British money. Oh. Book smarts. Every pound you lose, I'll lose. I don't know how to do a British accent, dude. How do British people sound? Crikey! He took my fucking Barbie. Oh, no, that's fucking Australian, dude. Love you, book smarts. Hope you have a good Thanksgiving. Thanks, dude. I hope you do too. Andy's gone. That sounds like a very ominous name. Blank is an emote used to ironically just say, just do something. Just move. That kind of shit. Every pound you lose, you lose. What the fuck? Every pound I lose, you lose. I like the way you've written that. I don't know if that's close to what it would sound like, but Book Smarts and Street Smart should do a collab. If there's a Street Smarts person, I'd love to talk to them. Have a good Thanksgiving, dude. Looks like you moved to a new place. No, I didn't. We're in an office. I should get a sign. I should buy a neon sign like the TTS one that we have here, and I should put it behind me and say office not house or something. I think a lot of people stop by and they're just like, aw, why are people happy? Booksmart's got a house. That's nice. And they don't know that secretly I do not. You can be mad. That is perfect. Okay. Not that much books lore, Sag. Yeah, I guess. There was a lot in the last one, but I had to delete the stream because I said some stuff. Not only did I say some stuff, I leaked some stuff. And I know that people for sure saw me say some stuff. I'm not sure that they saw that I leaked some stuff. So, is that stream going to be on Patreon? No, I didn't download it. I should have, but then I would have had to go and edit out the doxing stuff, and I kind of didn't want to. It takes a long time. Honestly, after the note-taking video, I probably need to just edit VODs and make funny clips and highlights and stuff and post those on YouTube instead of long, drawn-out YouTube things because they take forever and they don't make any money, so there's like literally no point to them. I was going to judge you for wearing shoes inside, but you're in your office, so it's all good. If I'm being 110% honest, I don't normally wear shoes in the office. Normally, I have these off, and I have them like by the front. Because I similarly do not like, it's not even that I think the shoes are dirty because you can see me playing around with them. It's that my feet get hot. I don't like my feet getting hot and sweaty inside of shoes. Like I can see that there's already sweat marks on the bottom of my feet. You're getting the streamer mindset. Yeah, I am. I'm starting to realize This is why everybody in private was making fun of me for wanting to plan streams and stuff, because they realized what I didn't, which is that you guys just want fucking randomness. And here's the other thing. I was listening to an anime podcast called Trash Taste, and they were talking about streaming versus YouTubing. And it made me realize some people can't do this. Did you know that? Like, some people really struggle with, like, improving and, like, ad-libbing stuff and doing it. Yeah, impromptu rants. How do you speak so well? Yeah, shit like that. I didn't know that people struggle with that. Because for me, I could talk all day, okay? I could talk about shit all day, all right? When I was little, and even kind of when I was an adult, I would talk to my dad about, like, stuff that I learned all day, and I would love just, like, hearing his dumb fucking questions and testing him and seeing, like, how well I was able to explain or, like, communicate the thing that I thought was interesting to him. And I never keyed into that behavior and what I was getting out of it until I started doing this. Because then I started to realize talking to you guys is a lot like explaining something I love to, like, people in my personal life. Like, I love just picking something I learned about and being like, dude, you won't believe what I learned about crows. So did you know that fucking crows can remember your face for years and years and years? Like, I read a forum on Reddit where people were talking about how they fucking would throw rocks at crows across the street from their house or some shit, and those crows would fucking torture them. They would fucking scream and bark and shit on their stuff and attack them for years and years and years. Or some people would move house, and when they would actually move back to the old house, the crows still recognized them, and they fucking tormented them, and they didn't treat the new owners like that. And they're like... And that started to make me think, like, are there research studies on this? Are people fucking full of shit? There's no way they're full of shit, because all of the rural people are sounding off that this is true on here, and they got 1 million updates. So, you know, it's got to be true in some regard. There's got to be some truth to the stories. And then I go to research, and I try to look it up. And, like, calling your dad's questions dumb fuck. He does have dumb fuck questions. But that's what's helpful, guys, is my dad being a dumb fuck helps me, like, imagine dumb fuckery and, like, what people who are novices think about stuff. When I say dumb fuck, he just doesn't know about any of the tangential information that I'm talking about. Like, he doesn't care about psychology. He doesn't know anything about who Freud is or any basic shit. He doesn't know anything about anything. He only knows about, like, art and stuff in movies and whatever. And so, like, that's a helpful person to talk to or have, like, a vision of in your head, because when I'm talking about the expert novice divide, that is one of my, like, key novice people that I try to keep in my mind. Could I explain this to my dad? Like, would my dad get it? Because my dad doesn't know anything about any of the other prerequisite info, but you guys do. You guys have the same YouTube feeds that I have. You are recommended the same videos. You are aware of the same YouTubers. You watch Destiny. You know about politics. You know about psychology. You know what cognitive science means. You know so much more than what the average normie knows. I don't think you guys realize that. When I talk to you, it's not my usual novice. It's not how I talk to people in tutoring. It's not how I talk to people at work, because, like, you guys know internet stuff, and internet stuff encompasses a really weird, like, slice of 1 billion different things that I know about. And it means you guys have, like, the seed, the inklings of understanding for 1 million different things. And, like, while I love leaning on that as a crutch, I always do try to temper myself and remember that people IRL actually don't know shit about anything. You guys have a little bit about a lot of stuff, so it's actually, like, kind of helpful. We're like your dad asking dumb questions. Wait, I'm dumb? No, just your questions. Just your questions.
Let's have a
are
smell,
dumb.
all right?
Damn, you
Ooh,
should debate your dad on
wafty,
stream. No, I will not.
Oh, everyone likes
Just
their
like
own
Destiny
brand,
debated
don't
his
they?
mom.
This is
No,
magic. All right, analysis.
no. Sometimes I feel like I have a ton of surface level knowledge, but it's very hard to apply. Yeah, because it's all surface level knowledge. Ah, yes, the enlightened Destiny viewers, Kappa. Yeah, you guys are special. You're definitely special. Thanks for the follow. Man, where were we going off on a tangent about? I completely forget. Oh, I need to talk about what I'm thankful for. Obviously I'm thankful for my dad first and foremost because he's let me live in the van in the front of the house for quite some time. It's been a number of months that I've been stuck there. And kind of building on that, thank you guys, because we're very close to getting out of this situation. I know I say that all the time, but that's because the money that I save gets up to a certain point, and then we have emergency expenses that remove that. But you know, I have appreciated the growth of this channel and the outpouring of support from you guys. Honestly, over the course of this last year, I'm really thankful that like the Twitch chat was here and that I had this relationship with you guys. Yeah, like even just hearing that you guys cared about rhetoric back when I talked to Destiny about rhetoric and I was trying to like get him to go that way, that was helpful because he definitely wasn't fucking having it. And he said, Aaron, you're 23. You don't fucking know what's going on with the world. Get back to me when you're fucking my age. And it's like, bro, but I'll never be your age. We're going to age at like the same rate. And you're going to be old as fuck. And then you're going to say, let me know when you have hemorrhoids and you don't have teeth anymore. Maybe then you'll appreciate like blah, 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 blah. You know, he would just pull that same shit no matter how old we get. He'll always say that there's a gap. So like hearing from you guys that like shit makes sense or this makes sense, or especially when things don't make sense, when you think that like even earlier on the Pokimane and Fed thing, I love that you guys can disagree with me. I like that you try even when you're wrong. I like that like I like all of that stuff. Why are you not wearing pants? What the fuck? Because I need to air my coochie out, dude. It's very, very hot and stanky. I'm airing my flaps, dude. That's really bad. Can you give a TLDR of your take on the PokeFed thing? TLDR, these are both like manipulative people who had some private conversation about what kind of blackmail they would release about each other in the event of different things happening. And what you're seeing is a result of one party thinking like that private deal was not met. Okay? And so when that person, when Fed is releasing information like this, you need to be thinking about why. You need to think about that private conversation that dictated who would blackmail who about what. And because it got leaked, I would say the last thing you want to think about is what this says about Fed and Pokey. Both of these people are people that you should take everything they say with a big grain of salt. In particular, Pokey, because we know for sure now that Pokey lies about shit. And I've said this before about other creators and other people in life, when somebody knows that they're wrong, when the people watching them know that they're wrong, when there is evidence that shows that they're wrong, when all of this pressure is put on somebody, when they're under the thumb, what do? If they wriggle out of it, if they do everything in their power, what I like to think about, guys, has anybody ever seen the movie The Thing? I like to think about a movie. I like to think about a scene from The Thing. Okay? Let me play this on stream and get DMCA'd. Okay? Let's go there. Just for anybody that has not seen this. Okay? Bloop.
Watching Norris in there gave me the idea that maybe
the idea with The Thing, okay, to give you a little bit of context, The Thing is a magical beast that landed in Antarctica. It's an alien. And what it does is it takes the form of the living creatures wherever it lands. And then it slowly murders them, okay? And it eats them. And so right now, The Thing, at this point in the movie, has turned into one of the humans. Now, the humans don't know because it can act like the other humans. So what they're doing is, this creature has a self-defense mechanism. It'll fight anything that threatens its ability to live. It'll be chill. It'll pretend like it's one of the gang all the way up until the moment where its life is threatened, and then it turns into something else. Okay, its real nature is revealed. And so what they do is they take blood samples from everybody on the crew, and they subject the blood samples to a test.
every part of him was a whole. Every little piece was an individual animal with a built-in desire to protect its own life. You see, when a man bleeds,
It's just tissue. The blood from one of you things won't obey when it's attacked. It'll try and survive. Crawl away from a hot needle, say. Get away from me! Retreating!
Okay, and then one of the dudes sitting there in the chair is like, right? Because he's discovered. They fucking got him, okay? And being pressured to show true colors makes me think of Death Note's ending. Yeah, that too. That too. That dude turning is so freaky. It is. I'm happy it cut it. But so that's what I'm talking about here is, and there's all my notes, is, here, let me get rid of this. What I'm saying is, I think that sometimes when people are put on the spot like this and all of the evidence is against them, I think that it's a lot like the blood test from The Thing. I think you have to realize the moment that they're testing everybody's blood that you are discovered. And what you choose to do in that final trial of proving you guilty says a lot about you. If in that moment that you knew you were going to be proven guilty, instead of being a normal human being and admitting that you were wrong, admitting that you have a problem, admitting that you actually did the thing, if instead of choosing to do any of these righteous things, you choose to scriggle and to fucking fight, and I didn't do this, and here's this lie, and I didn't, blah, blah, blah. You fucking freak out, okay? When you freak out, I put a major fucking red flag on you, because you are somebody that can never, ever be trusted in any regard. Because when all of the evidence was against you, when we all knew you were not telling the truth, when we had it in front of us, and when you knew that we knew that, and you chose to act that way, I'm sorry, but that says a lot for your character. I cannot handle people like that, okay? Say what you will of me. When somebody really pushes me on being wrong, this is the reason why I really try to, like, give into that. Like, and that may not come off as well on stream, but if, again, you talk to any of the people I talk to in private, they will admit that at least one of the good things about me is I like to tell people when I'm wrong. I very much like those moments, because not only do I think that, like, it's good to admit you're wrong, I think I get a lot of social capital out of that, you know? I think it looks good to admit that you're wrong, okay? Especially when all of the evidence says that you are wrong, when people don't believe you that you're right, okay? When you're put in this, like, unique situation, I think that you should just admit that you're wrong, because I think to do otherwise says a lot about your character as a person and your mental thought process in this snaky kind of second nature that you have to you. And I just think it really, like, spells poorly for that person. Being pressured to show true colors makes me think, yeah, the Death Note ending is another really good one. Hey, Book Smarts, I feel like extremely online people need tutorials on how to better engage with and organize their IRL community. Are there any programs for that already? None that I know of. Is it feasible? I think so. We'll see after Destiny's thing, right? Sag, it's hard to find horror movies like that. It is, but I mean, I think that's one of the best horror movies of all time, isn't it? Like, that's pretty widely regarded. Fred has Stockholm Syndrome from all the gaslighting. Fed has it? Yeah, maybe. Slandering Queen Pokey feels weird, man. Oh, shit. Do you think she made this response alone or with other people? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You know? I don't care if the alien had friends, dude. I don't care if the alien had friends. I knew they were an alien the second they responded that way to that situation. And then I just red flag. And I've said this before and I'll repeat it again. There are other content creators on this platform who, when put in similar situations where the thumb was on them, they squirmed. And for each and every one of those creators, I have a major red flag in my head for them, and it will never, ever go away. It'll never go away the entire time I will talk to that person. Because the moment I see that, I have learned in life that this is so important, because the kinds of people that respond that way, if this alien ever was in the position where there is going to be a blood test again, it will do everything in its power at that moment to stop it, because its habit is to stop this at every single moment that it can see that happen. And if through learned experience it knows that there's a blood test coming and it will always fail, it'll then avoid the blood test. So when somebody shows you that their nature is to avoid showing their true colors at all costs and whatever, I really do think that when that person was finally in a situation that brought out the true colors, you cannot trust that they are different in the future, because they will constantly avoid situations that will bring that to light, because they are the kind of creature that will seek out and now will avoid situations that will bring them to that point. Okay? That's part of what that creature is like. And that's insidious. It's an awful fucking character trait to have. It's an awful kind of person. And that's why I have to label the entire person, because even if they seem reformed and this, that, and the other thing, they have this underlying mechanism, a defense mechanism that could pop out, you know, when they think they're going to get shit talked on, when they think there's a threat of being blackmailed, when they think this, when they think that. They're constantly making decisions to avoid that ever happening again. And it's the fact that like goes into every single decision, that's always there, that makes them not trustworthy. Okay. And I only know the one time where they were pushed and it was definitive and they behaved that way. And from that one instance, I need to make my conclusion about it. And it has to be solid. And so, yeah, that's just the squirmers, dude. They always have a red flag in my mind, because I do not trust squirmy people. Squirmy people squirm under all sorts of circumstances anytime that they think their shit's threatened, and they are annoying to deal with, because I don't want to have to think in my head, empathy-wise, of squirmer people all the time. Because squirmer people, oh man, has anybody ever seen Hannibal? Okay, a show about a serial killer guy and the dude who's chasing after him. The dude that's chasing after him has some kind of thing with his brain where he's able to empathize with people so much that he's able to like predict the actions of killers. And the problem with Hannibal, the most difficult killer to catch, is that this dude trying to empathize with him is becoming the crazy fucking elusive killer in his brain. And that part is like growing and taking over. I really do feel that when I try to empathize with people who are snaky, it infects my fucking thinking to in unfathomable ways. It's like so fucking negative and toxic, which is also why I have to put a red flag on them. Why I have to like worry about them, because I know that they can influence me like that. And I know that they're so sly that they've done that their whole life, that they can trick me into starting to think that way, that they can be like, oh, well, you know, Noah, it doesn't really matter if you do this or that. And that's why I appreciate people that tell me like to go the opposite direction. Like with the timing thing I mentioned earlier in Supreme, telling me like, yeah, people probably appreciate having an ETA. It's probably good to just always tell people an ETA, even if they didn't ask for it, because more information, having them equipped with more information is probably a good thing more generally. Like, yeah, I would have never argued against that. This is like a slimy thing that has somehow managed to exist in my system, and I think it's bad, and I need to rethink it. And I'm happy he brought my attention to that, because a normal slimy, squirmy person may have just been totally okay with that. Like, yeah, why the fuck would you tell people if they don't need to know? People don't need to know any kind of shit. You should not be volunteering any information at any time, because information is power, and we are in a war of fucking data. Like, that's a person that I'm more worried about than I'm worried about the person who thinks that like transparency and whatever is probably the best way of going about it. Like, and this is what I mean. This smell test, I think, helps me with a lot of different people all the time. I have to rewatch it, but I think he leaned more into the squirm side. That's how I remember it. Lots of minimizing and justifying. But it's been long, so I might be projecting. I don't know what you're talking about. I honestly don't remember it well enough to judge how well he responded. Any squirmers in chat? Hannibal doesn't squirm. No, Hannibal does not squirm. Hannibal admits. That's the scary thing about Hannibal. Hannibal just admits that he's a fucking killer. He's crazy. But he admits when he knows that there is no squirming that is possible. I think he's a squirmer that knows well enough when, like, the squirm must stop. The squirm must cease. A lot of S's. I struggle with S's. Oh, here's a bit of lore. I was in speech therapy because when I was little, I thought I found the biggest fucking life hack, because I realized that in 99% of use cases, the TH sound can be replaced with F. And you can just always do that, because you're never going to be in a situation where you have a word like three and free right next to each other. So I would always just say free, you know, hey, bro, it's free. Hey, bro, there's going to be tree fitty. Or I would do the TR, or I would just do a T. Like, hey, bro, there's going to be tree fitty. Maybe that's why that accent is there, because when I was little, I dead ass would talk like that. I would skip over things like TH. And even I think there was something with F and S too, where I was like, S is really hard. F is kind of very similar. So yeah, I would like fuck with sounds, and I was like, well, if I can limit the number of sounds I need to say to the ones that I can pronounce easily, then I'll do that. When I was little, I rolled out of a bunk bed and I fucking smashed. I fell from the top to the bottom and I fucking smashed my front teeth in. And so I fucked up my front teeth. And when they grew back, I got buck teeth, dude, because I fucked them up when they came out. And so I always struggled with saying like sounds, because for a while I didn't have front teeth, so I couldn't pronounce shit, and it sounded really cringe. And then when I had my buck teeth, I had this space in the middle that fucks up the way I pronounce words. And so like that was always difficult. And when I tell you guys that I'm living at the front of my mouth, that's where I'm trying to make all the noise, it's because I'm trying to pronounce S's properly and stuff like that, and THs properly. And there's been so much training to focus all my attention between the interaction of my tongue and the tip of it and my teeth, that like when I talk, all of the sound I'm focusing on making right here. But if I talk from here and I talk within my voice, I honestly don't think too much about the S sounds, and I'm actually thinking more about the deep tones, because those are requiring most of the effort and most of my focus. And then I don't care how the S's turn out. Sometimes they'll turn out well, other times they'll slip, or they'll, be the way that I don't want them to be. Semi-Vosh voice, yeah. I feel like that's my fake deep voice. Going back a bit to squirmy people. If you know someone will always act squirmy in a situation, you could use that to your advantage in a debate. You're playing with fire, my brother. You're playing with fucking fire. Yeah, you could, if you're just as much of a fucking mastermind manipulator who can like work that to your advantage. But I think that's playing with fire. That's a difficult thing to play around with, because you're assuming that you can out-squirm the squirmer, that you can put them in a trap that's set up just so much so that they'll make themselves look like a fool. And I think that's more difficult than you make it out to be. Good lord, buck teeth explained. Buck teeth explained. Fuck you. Semi-Vosh voice. That voice reminds me of Gus from Breaking Bad. Gus. Who is Gus? Gus from Breaking Bad. Which one's Gus? I forget which one's Gus. Oh, Gustavo? Oh, Gustavo. Okay, so that guy. Yeah. My name is Gustavo Fring. Bro, I could probably do that voice if I was better at like the like Spanishy part of it. I bet you I could do that voice. This ever happened to you and your buck teeth? Why can't I hear it?
Here at Augusta High School that led to Chris Wood's death. The fuck is that?
The fuck is that? Did something climb up into his teeth? That's fucking gross. The snake that lives in his body and controls the monkey comes slipping out. Holy crap. My name is Gustavo Fring. Dude, that was a good ear. I didn't even think about that, but that is kind of like how he sounds. A lot of breathing.
Rata. What? A crippled little rata.
A crippled little... I can't do it, bro. That's hard. He's got an accent. The accent part's hard, but the tonality, I see what you're saying. Nier did it with Kira, so we good. People really don't like Nier, dude. Kind of sucks. It's a scene where he kills that guy. What scene where he kills that guy? Oh, yeah, where he kills Hector Salamanca. Going back a bit to squirmy people. Okay, I feel like these traits are useful in certain situations, like when doing any type of business negotiations, or ironically enough, when dealing with people who exhibit those negative traits in all situations. Maybe. But But even in business and stuff, I think like you want to temper that kind of personality with human traits. I think that people will become attached to your human traits in business more than they do like your business traits in business. I think even the most like the bestest business people are scary to other business people. They're not like fun to interact with. Like when everybody's saying that Pokimane is a businesswoman and whatever, I think that there is a fear in that wouldn't exist if like she was the best businesswoman who like cared about everybody and like helped people out and like manipulated things such that like it would benefit everybody. And so that's where I would respond to that, is that if you're good enough to always make sure number one comes out on top, then you're simply at level 1 on the staircase to like helping everybody, right? If you've taken care of you and you're really good at that, congrats. The way that you can level up this snitchy fucking squirmy personality is to start covering for more people. Your friends, your family, your community, your fucking country. Like, just start moving up the ladder. If you got you covered, congrats. You're still at fucking the first step on the staircase, okay? There's a whole other society of people out there who help you that you should also be helping. And so I think to stop at square one is where people fuck up. I don't think it shows anything good that you're able to like be super squirmy for number one. But if you can do that squirm for as many people as possible, then I think it starts to turn into something different. Like when you're covering for more people, I think that's when I'm okay with it. The accent is lessened in his roles in The Boys and The Mandalorian. Yeah, for sure. But that's because he's playing a dude with an accent in Breaking Bad. And I think that's like a whole part of it, is he really wants to be true to that weird accent that he has to replicate. When you stare into the abyss stares back. True. Okay, on that note, I think we should get going. Let's see, who are we going to raid into? I wonder. Twitch.com. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your Thanksgiving. I am thankful to you guys for supporting me, for showing up, and for listening.
Of course.
Wow, look at that.
Buddy.
An ad. Melina clickbaited me, dude. I clicked Melina's stream. I'm fucking in Cooper brain, bro. Oh. I'm not fucking raiding Melina. Let me find a real channel here. Oh no, nobody's streaming right now. The Surfs and Aidenwood, that's it. Oh man. Oh man, I just got the end. Oh man, when you stare into the abyss, I think I stared into something, bruh, and what stared back was an ad from Twitch.tv.
Yes, I miss you too, Melly Belly.
That's so sad that she's here alone.
Really, really nice. And thank you so much for everything.
Oh, I guess she's got her chat with her. Okay, I'm getting distracted. Hold on. Enough of this. Enough. Boob smarts. She had a cute swimsuit on, dude. Oh my goodness. This is going to be hard to explain.
I shall
Thanks
call
for the
him Mini-Me.
Thank you. Thank you, Darth Bane. See you guys there. See ya, Cal. Oh, we're talking with Cal, I think, is it tomorrow or next week that you and I are talking?
What the fuck? Sam, what is this?
Whoa. Thanks. Yeah, that's pretty pog, dude. Thanks, End of the Lion. End of the Lion. The End of the Lion is coming soon, bro, if we don't fix this global warming shit. Let's see here. What do I need to do?
You have to form these opinions yourself. You can't cut to the chase. Drawing your own conclusions is the chase.
Thanks, Rugal. Dang, Darth Bane out here with the subs. Let's see, where am I going? Guys, where do you want to raid into? Who's on your follow list? Because I don't have fucking anybody on mine. I don't want to raid the Surfs. I don't want to raid the Surfs. Give me somebody else. Give me another one. Another one. Trihex? Okay, easy. Trihex. How many people is watching Trihex right now?
Sam, what is this?
Comedy option, you can raid Mason Dota 2 or Admiral Baru.
No.
Admiral Baru. I like the name Baru. That sounds kind of pog. No, he's got 1 million viewers. He doesn't need my help. Trihex? 900? I think the Trihex one makes the most sense, honestly. I'm going to raid into Trihex. I don't think Trihex knows who I am, so tell him that I defended him about the N-word thing. Polar World is streaming? Oh, is he really? Okay, Polar's World. I don't know what Polar's World does, though. What is he doing? Let's see.
Like the little 20-year-olds out there. Anyway.
No, he's doing drama. No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. No more drama. Don't mention it in his chat. Uh-oh. Why? Will you get banned? Hold on. Let me open up OBS again. No, Monka W. Don't mention in his chat. Okay, don't mention in his chat, but definitely tell him about me. Okay, let's go. Booksmarts. Okay. /raid. Trihex. Dope. Have fun there, guys. Have a good rest of your Thanksgiving. Tell him happy Thanksgiving. Be nice to him. You know, all that good stuff. Have a good one, guys. Just seems weird to host the guy and people spam about the N-word arc. Yeah, that is true. That is true. That is true. Okay, is that going? Do I need to be in the chat for that to go, or will it go on its own? Bye, Mr. Books. Bye, guys. YouTube chat will stick around for a bit. Later. I think YouTube chat will be here for a while, though. Yeah, don't mention it, guys. All right. Bye, YouTube. Bye, everybody. I'll see you later. I'm going to stop streaming.